Hi, everyone. It's me, Delusion Dispeller. It's time for our live discussion. Just waiting to see if One Love knows that I'm on. Hope y'all start pouring in. It should be a good one. I've got to be off of here by about 7:55 because I'm going to be doing some more tutoring. If it gets into that lively of a discussion, I might just cancel my class and stay here, but we'll see. See how it goes. Hey, there she is. Hey, One Love, come up on panel, girl. Let me get you up here. I did send you a link. I don't know if you got it or not, but that's okay if not. Is you okay, Meech? All right, hold on. Hey, critters. Welcome, welcome. All right. Okay, let's make this a nice discussion with no fighting, and if any riffraff comes in, One Love, well, you know what to do. We'll have to open this on YouTube too, I guess. Let's see how we do this. I guess that's how you do it. You click it. It says view on YouTube. All right, so I got us open on both ends here. That's good. That's what I wanted to do. Just in case we got to deal with any goofiness in here. All right, so let's get this discussion going. Did I give you the link, One Love? Hey, Wilson family. There is the link, I believe, yes. Come on up, One Love. All right. Yay, here we go. All right. So did you get a chance to watch it?
No.
You didn't watch my video yet?
I was watching this hilarious video of this gal that was doing something on LuLaRoo.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my gosh. It was the most hilarious video I've ever seen. It was the best exit video of my life that I've ever seen. Anybody do. In fact, I need to redo in my description and delete my Thrive thingy because I don't want anyone to think that I actually subscribe to the actual tactics utilized to sell a product.
Right. I gotcha. I understand. That makes sense. Well, okay. So since you didn't get a chance to watch it, I will just how are we gonna do this? Well,
I don't know how. You actually sent me the video?
No, it's posted. It's just live. Not live, but it's uploaded. Is what I meant to say. So if you want to go watch it for a minute, I can just chit chat with people while you watch it. So we're kind of on the same wavelength.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'll take you off of your.
And it's actually in your uploads, and you did it right.
Yeah, okay. It's same name as the room. 4 types of narcissists and how to recognize them.
And is it real long?
No. It's about maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, something like that.
Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. Okay, so we're going to put her on hold for a minute and just chat a bit. Did any of y'all get to watch the video that I uploaded? This is the discussion forum for that video. I didn't give you a whole lot of time to watch the video, so I apologize for that. I'm really crunching time here. Matthew had his therapy appointment today, and it was actually a really good therapy appointment. He is actually going through something called EMDR, if anybody knows what that is. It's eye movement desensitization therapy. And without revealing anything that he discussed, because it's private, of course, one thing I can say that I learned was about mind shifting, which I do automatically, but I guess people that have some of the things he's dealing with have a hard time with it. It's just basically getting rid of distracting, debilitating thoughts. Hey, Tracker. So his therapist was basically talking to us about how, when a thought comes to your mind, it's just a thought. You don't have to feel condemned about it, but you can distract yourself and think elsewhere. Go and take a walk, ride your bike, do something else to get the thought gone. But don't punish yourself for having any type of thought, even if it's a bad thought, you know? Thoughts are just that, they're thoughts. You don't have to feel embarrassed or ashamed or scared of a thought. You can change your thought. I hope she can really help him with this, because honestly, years ago, I had some really bad thoughts. And I went through some really intense deliverance times. And then I went on medicine, which pretty much chomped off a part of my brain that used to do that. So I don't have obsessive thinking anymore like I used to, which is why I forget a lot of things. Like, you could talk to me today and don't ask me what you said tomorrow, because I might not remember it unless it was like something really earth shaking and that really had something to do with my life. It's not because I'm stuck on myself and I don't pay attention to what anybody says. It's that I literally do not remember things. So it's a blessing sometimes in disguise too, because there's a lot of things I don't like to keep in my head. All right, and the other thing she taught was don't say no. Don't tell yourself no. Don't tell other people no. Tell them what they should do. Because she said the brain, scientifically, I guess they've proven, the brain does not recognize the word no. So all it hears is the positive part of the message. So if you say, don't touch those cookies, the brain is hearing touch those cookies. It's blocking out the don't part. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but hey, if it works, it works. I'm going to give it a try. Instead of getting on him about all the foods he's not supposed to be eating, I'm not going to say, you know, don't eat that or don't eat so much of that. I'm just going to say, hey, how about having a salad instead? Or why don't you maybe, you know, go get a drink of water? Maybe you're thirsty rather than hungry or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. We'll work it out. I don't know. Anyway, so we went to where he works today and hung out a little while there. And basically just kind of spent some time together, which was really nice today for us to just do that. I've been kind of making a point of saying, hey, you want to just sit and talk or cuddle or whatever, just so that we connect a little bit during the day. We get so caught up in the stuff that we're doing that we forget sometimes to get together, and it's important. So yeah. Anyway, how is everyone here? Critters, do you want to be called Critters or Angela, or do you have a preference? I meant to ask you that the other day. I know some people have a bad, you know, attitude towards you because of the name Critters and all the garbage that went on in the past. So I didn't know if you wanted me to still call you Critters, if you still go by that, or do you want to be called Angela, or doesn't it matter? Let me know, because I don't want to offend. I want everybody to feel comfortable in here. It's not about, you know, being against anybody or anything or whatever. We're not talking about any of that stuff anyway. It doesn't matter. Okay, cool. Whatever. All right, good. I saw the cutest little girl today after we got out of his therapy session. This little girl, she was 4 years old, and she was just a chatterbox. She's like, my daddy has a cast on his leg. You know why he has a cast? Because he did this from dancing. I was like, oh, really? Interesting. I love little kids. Hi, Weedsy Bat. She says, yes, he was dancing, and they had one of those, what do they call them? The light wands or whatever. You know, you take them to like concerts and stuff. Is that what they're called? Light wands? I don't know. Anyway, a glow wand, a glow stick, it's called. She goes, and he fell. Somebody put glow sticks out there, and he fell, and that's why he has a cast on his leg. And she's going on and on. And her mother's like, oh, she's just telling you the PG version of it. She's like, this was at a wedding. She's like, yeah, it was a wedding, and my daddy fell when he was dancing and hurt his leg, so now he has a cast. And I'm 4.5 years old. That's why I'm so smart. And she's like going on and on. I said, well, look at this. We got the same necklace on. She goes, yes, only yours is gold and mine is silver. And mine is like for little kids, and it's costume jewelry and fashion jewelry. But I like to wear it. I said, yeah, I know, mine too. Mine is a Mardi Gras fashion jewelry type thing. It's just kind of fake, but I like it. I think it looks cool. So I wear it too. Sometimes I wear it with my other necklaces. Who says you have to have flipping 14 karat gold, you know, to wear? I don't care. I just wear whatever looks nice and whatever makes me feel good. I don't care that it's like got string in it and it's not a chain or whatever or real pearls. Who cares? It's cool. It's bling. It's neat looking. I like it. It makes me happy. And I like gold a lot, although One of the reasons I wear gold is because I'm very allergic to silver-plated anything. I will turn green if I wear anything silver or even painted silver. My body does not like silver. I love silver. It's gorgeous, but I can't wear it. Hey, Connie, just Connie, how is it going today? Anyway, so that was fun. It was fun talking to that little girl. It was fun being out with my husband. He's working right now, probably till about 9. I plan on being on this live till about maybe 8. Well, not quite 8, 7:50-ish. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we will have a nice discussion. Now we have a topic because I uploaded that video. Hopefully you all got to see the video, or you might kind of be a little bit in the dark of what we're going to be talking about tonight. Hey, G. Marie. I know G. Marie knows all about what I'm about to talk about, what we're about to discuss. She's been through the ringer too with these narcissistic people in our lives. So, anywho, and I'm a narc magnet. I attract them. If you ever see me in a relationship with anybody and it seems like I can't get out of it or I can't let go, chances are I have now attracted yet another narcissistic person, and I'm fascinated with narcissistic people, even though they're very dangerous and toxic. It's like a case study for me. I know that sounds terrible. People shouldn't be case studies, but you know, narcissists, because they're so mean and cruel, that's kind of the best thing you can do with them is study them. Anyway, I wanted to give you an update on the Bell's palsy thing. I think it's still kind of lingering. I can see when I look at myself, my mouth is still a little bit crooked, but it's not super noticeable. So I'm not going to make a big deal of it. Who cares? Oh, you were married to one for 20 years. Hi, El Mode Hamza. Interesting name. I'm fine. How are you? I don't know if you'll understand what we're talking about because it looks like you might be from a different country, possibly, like Italy or something. Maybe not. But you're welcome to stay anyways and contribute if you have anything to contribute. Oh, hey, DS Meadows. Actually, are you the Meadows that I think she had talking on panel one day? Was that you? Or am I thinking of somebody else? I thought they said Meadows, or somebody had Meadows on somewhere. Anyway, you're welcome here. One Love will be back. She will be back. Please sit tight. She's going to watch the video that we're going to be discussing right now. She didn't get a chance to go and see it, so she's just going and checking it out. But she'll be right back. Give her time. I promise she will be back. Oh my goodness. So anyway, 25 people in here. Tell me about your day. How was your day? My day is not quite done yet. I started it out by having a couple cupcakes, and then I went to KFC with my husband to have lunch, and we hung out a while, different places, and rode our bikes, which was really fun and fulfilling for me because he aired up my tire, and now my bike feels really comfortable to ride, and I love it. Honestly, if it wasn't for the stupid winter snow, I would be fine just riding a bike everywhere. I absolutely love bike riding. I would not even need a car. But how do you do your laundry on a bike? Unless I guess you could put it in a bag like a week's worth or something. I could do that maybe. I wear really thin clothes, so I possibly could do that till the winter. Because now that my bike is so fun to ride, I don't mind riding it everywhere. Oh, you are the Meadows that One Love had on the channel. Oh, cool. Well, nice to meet you. I only heard your name in passing, so it's a pleasure to have you in here and finally actually get to know you. I saw that you subscribed to my channel, so thank you for that. Appreciate that. It's good to have everybody in here. Lee, how are you doing? How's it going? What's new? I'm putting some hand lotion on because my hands are kind of dry. It's pretty comfortable in here right now. It was a nice day. 35 years for me. I'm not sure what that means. Tomorrow, y'all, is a special day for me. And today was supposed to be the day when I decided whether Matthew was coming or going, staying or leaving. He's staying, just so y'all know. We worked out whatever we needed to work out. We're still working on things, but he's been making great strides. So, yes, it's my birthday tomorrow. It is. I will be 53 years young tomorrow. Yes, yes. And I am looking forward to it. Matthew and I are probably going out to eat at Taco Bell, I think, tomorrow. I think that's the plan. Other than that, I don't know. We'll probably rent movies or something, sit and chillax together. Oh, yeah, I know. Matthew has a big basket on the front of his bike. I don't want to put a basket on my bike because it's hard enough for me to pedal. It's one of those bikes with the man bar across it, like the high bar. So it's real hard to get off and on because of my short little legs, and I'm only 5 feet tall. So I'd rather not put extra weight on my bike. But he has a basket on his he can put stuff in. And he does. So we can do that. Yeah, I don't know that I would be comfortable doing it on my bike because it would just put too much weight on it. I'd have to drag extra weight with me. Plus it puts too much weight on the tires. I can't wait till One Love comes back and I get her reaction to the video and I get to hear her input on the video. We have such good discussions about cults and abuse and all that stuff because we understand. Yes, I'm a Virgo. I am a Virgo. I see you, Tracker. Hi. Can you see us and me? And can you hear me? You hear everything okay? We're not buffering? Are we good? Are we good? Oh, I promised I'd show you guys this. Somebody wanted to see these. Do you see them? Do you see them? Hold on. See them? They're not going to stay there, but at least they're up. Just wanted to see what they look like. See? See? My lights. But we'll put them somewhere else eventually. For now, that's where they're going. We see you, Tracker. Do see you. Here, we'll put you up there. See? We see you. I keep forgetting I can do this. I forget I can put that up there. No, we're not going to do laundry on our date. Oh, I love your parrot. That's what that is. I didn't know what your profile picture was. Yeah, those lights are cute. I like them. Oh, good. Okay, you see us now. Good. Wonderful. Hi, Tammy. Hello. How are you doing, Tammy? I need to make sure I unblocked everybody I need to unblock too. So, because I want anybody that wants to come in here tonight to hear this and see it and whatever. Nobody kept out. If anybody's got an issue with that, then I guess that's your issue. And you will have to deal with it. However you feel best. Either leaving or ignoring or hiding the person that you have an issue with or whatever you need to do. Whatever you need to do. All right, let's see. First, I have to get in Creator Classic. Anybody that's a creator in here, are you having troubles keeping your computer in Creator Classic mode? Or is it just me? Because I literally keep ending up back in this stupid beta mode I hate. Do not like beta. It's too hard to work with, especially when it comes to comments or settings or anything like that. Okay, let me make sure everybody is unhidden that I need to unhide. They're going to be lurking anyway. They may as well come in if they want to. I don't care. No matter to me. I've moved on from all that nonsense. Overdone. Okay. All right. I think I got everybody unhidden that needs to be unhidden. Perfect. Now let me save it. Bam. I'm getting quite a bit better, Tammy. Hey, Grandma Ducky. Boo. Who was in the JWs? I wasn't in the JWs. Oh, here we go. There's one. Yay, okay, she's back. Okay.
And I got to figure out how to see him. Oh, there I am. Oh, there I am. Oh, my God, Dee Dee.
Are we going to have a fun night tonight?
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? It's when the one that is the Kohlberg Narc, right?
Yeah.
That one is the craziest one to experience. Because they know that you will question yourself and you will try to figure out if you are the problem.
Yep.
And you don't want to be a blamer.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Literally to the point where you feel dumbfounded. Like almost like when it happens, when they go in for the kill, you don't even know what the heck just hit you.
Exactly.
You're just like laying there completely dumbfounded.
Yeah, unless you've been through it many times, and then you're like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, but some can be so good at it.
Yeah. Well, they're all very stealthy and cunning, and that's the point, is people don't realize it till after it happens, and then it's like, whoa, what just hit me?
Well, it's a very twisted way to live and to think.
Yes, it is.
It's very cruel.
Very much so. It is.
And we all have narcissistic traits. The difference is when it involves literally, like you said, it's sadistic. It's cruel.
Yep.
You're literally wanting to hurt somebody. Destroy them.
Yes.
Because everything that they are, you are not.
Exactly.
But that's what attracted them to you, because they want to be you.
Yep. That's why they copy you.
Yes.
They want that mirror.
And they wanted the attention from people, and they got you because it got them attention. They felt great having you there by their side.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they realized that people liked you, but then it took the attention off of them.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
It is so weird.
It is.
You know what the common thread was, Dee Dee, that you said?
What?
Every single one. Cult leader.
The cult leader. Yeah. Yeah. The cult leader. Definitely. But business leaders too. Supervisors. I have met more narcissistic supervisors in my lifetime than I can even count on both hands. Seriously.
And honestly, you have to be that sick in the head to even climb the ladder in the corporate world. You do. You will never climb the ladder if you are someone who is honest and who will actually call out the BS.
Oh, yeah. I quit a job because basically I was working at a grocery store, and it was so hot in that darn store. They had no fans. And then I went to corporate, because that's what they tell you to do. Call corporate if you have any problems. They tell you right in the fine print you sign. So I called corporate, and they're like, well, we'll look into it, blah, blah, blah. Next thing I know, corporate contacted my manager. He's calling me up to sit down for a meeting. He's like, don't bother contacting corporate. Everything you call them for goes right back to me. I'm like, okay, great. So there's a hierarchy system going on here. Lovely. I'm working for a cult system. So it ended up where they were sweltering in the front of the store, because it turns out I talked to the manager again, and I'm like, what can you do about the heat? It's so hot in here. I was a cashier. He's like, well, there's really nothing we can do. See, the system, the way the heater system works is it pumps in the hot air and the cold air through the same vent, and we never know which one we're going to get. I said, that's ridiculous. People are dying up here, sweating. Why can't you do something? Well, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. So I went to OSHA. I called OSHA in on them. They sent them a nice little email, which they sent me a copy of. It said, you got 3 days to remedy this situation for your employees, or we're coming to pay you a visit. You better believe every other register had a fan at that point.
Yes.
And then a lady came through my line, and me not having a quiet mouth at all, and I always tell too much of everything. I'm sitting there talking to the guy, cashing him out, saying about how I got the fans put in. And the lady happened to be a manager of another one of the chains of the same grocery store. And she's like, ma'am, you ought to be very careful who you talk to and what you say to people. I said, no, I'm not going to be careful. I did get the fans put in because people were up here sweltering and getting sick. And this darn store I work for doesn't do anything about it. And she went to my manager, my supervisor. He brought me up again. Dee Dee gets called to the office a lot on jobs. That's a big reason I hate working in the work world. So I sat down with him and he's like, oh, I need you to sign this and blah, blah, blah. And of course, he brings the most narcissistic coworker up there, the co-manager, with him to sit there and oversee the whole meeting. And I'm sitting there going, whatever, because I knew what I was dealing with, you know. And he's like, I don't understand why you would do this. This is not the first time, blah, blah, blah. Our cameras caught you. And I'm like, that's fine. The cameras caught me. You didn't do your job. I went over your head. I reported you. Now we got fans. End of story. And by the way, I'm done here today. I'm handing in my resignation. And I was gone out the door.
Yes. You know, Lee R.D. brought up a great point when she said that I think it's the covert narc is very they constantly compliment you. Now, what makes that hard for genuine people that really do derive happiness in giving compliments is it makes it hard for people to recognize who the genuine, authentic souls are amongst those that are really truly only interested in self and promoting themselves by getting you wrapped around their fingers through love bombing.
Love bombing, yep. Exactly.
And do you want to know how you can tell the difference, I think?
Is
that person, the love bombing whatever the person perceives to be love bombing is not going to end. In other words, you're not going to go into that next stage of devaluation, of which they're searching out another little toy.
Right. And that's why some of them can get married, I think. Because they keep in that love bombing phase the whole time. And it keeps you hooked to them.
In the case of my mother, who very beautiful woman and very artistic and not at all into herself. You know what I mean? She's all these things, but she doesn't know it. She doesn't like, oh, look at me, I'm beautiful. She's not like that. She's very down to earth.
Right.
But the man that hooked up with her was what you would call the somatic.
Yeah.
Very, very, I mean, he just was all into that image. So she was perfect for him, but he resented her for everything that was wonderful about her. So
she was kind of the trophy wife.
She was the trophy wife, and I was the whipping boy. And once I was removed from that scenario and my other sister was moved out because he really hated women, really deep down.
Yeah.
Then mom became the whipping boy, so to speak.
Oh, wow.
So she really didn't experience the abuse as bad until us girls were out of the house.
Right. It's kind of how it was with my narcissistic daughter. I didn't experience the abuse as bad until once Carol was out of the house, my oldest daughter, who played mediator between myself and my daughter and my narcissistic ex-husband. Once my daughter moved out, or my eldest daughter moved out of the house, then no holds barred. My daughter went after me like a flippin' dog after a, I don't know, rattlesnake or something. Whatever dogs go after. She just totally ripped into me. And the way she did it, let me teach you this one. Okay, so my daughter, not Carol, my other daughter, she would wait till my husband was at work and then get on my case. Because he had this rule, I always tell this story, and it's very true. When the kids were sick, if those girls were sick, they had to stay home in bed. If you're sick enough to stay out of school, you're sick enough to be in bed recovering. Okay, or helping your mother was the other option they had. Well, most of the kids really didn't like housework, so they didn't want to help mom. They stayed in bed. But this particular daughter, she waited till he went to work, And when I said, I need your help with the dishes, she said, no, I don't have to help with the dishes. It's not my job. It's yours. Get off your butt and go do it yourself, Mom. I said, you know what Dad said. You're supposed to help me. If you're sick enough to be home, you either be in bed or help me with the dishes. Well, I'm not doing it, and you can't make me. I'm going in my bedroom. So she went in the bedroom. My ex-husband got home, and he's like, where is she? And I said, she's in a room. He said, okay, I'll go talk to her. Next thing I know, she comes out to the kitchen. She goes, Mom, why didn't you tell me you needed help with the dishes? All you had to do was ask. I'd have been happy to help you. Passive, aggressive, little snot. Nasty.
Oh.
She's the one that hates me, by the way.
When you are in a situation like that, Dee Dee,
mm-hmm.
and if you react, which it's hard not to do.
I'm sure I did back then. I was pretty ticked.
Immediately, you do look like the crazy person.
Yeah.
Because you are coming off like you are the distraction. You are a distraction.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I tried to talk to my ex-husband and say, don't you see she's playing you? She's trying to make it seem like she was going to help me. She wasn't. I'm telling you, she wasn't. He's like, well, just don't worry about it. It's over and done with. Now, he was a narcissist too, still is. But the two of them, that was his favorite daughter anyways. So she won every time. I mean, when we ran a business, he told me I was to submit to her because she knew math better than I did. And she knows how to run the cash register. So you just do what she says in the restaurant. You just submit to her. It was twisted. Very twisted.
I think the hardest thing about is not to become reactive.
Mm-hmm.
It is really hard.
Yes,
and I think that most of us that have been exposed to this type of dynamic are or have been reactive because you're trying to explain to the other party what's going on. Oh, let's look at Meadows. Meadows. You goofy girl. So you're trying to explain what's going on. And in the midst of you trying to explain what's going on, because you are being completely nailed to a wall,
mm-hmm.
because you're trying to explain it, people think you're absolutely nuts, paranoid, and weird.
Yeah. And they did. They thought I was exaggerating till my ex-husband went to live with his sister. And then I got a phone call. Laura, I'm sorry I ever said anything against you. I can't stand it. It was bad. And it's his own sister.
Oh, you were terrible. Vindicated. So then you knew you were not nuts?
Oh, I've been vindicated many times over. Many times over. That's why I live to tell the tale in halfway sanity. That's why this stuff online usually doesn't get to me too much, because I've been through the ringer with this stuff, even in my own family.
Well, I'm not as triggered as I used to be. I used to be triggered, and then I would really want people to see what was happening, and they had to see it. I mean, how could they not?
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned, first of all, to get rid of, once you start getting rid of your triggers, which for me, it's that therapy. Boy, it really helps you to move through your emotions and not react, because you know that if you try to explain anything, you're only going to look more crazy.
Yep.
You got to just let it be.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to let people figure it out on their own. And sad to say, a lot of people are going to believe the BS.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people are.
Well, especially the narcissist next victim. How many times I've wanted to just warn them, oh, can't I just warn them that that's how they are? People have come to me and asked me, is it okay if I go and tell my ex-boyfriend or my ex-boyfriend's new supply source what he's like? I said, well, you can, but I don't know how much good it's going to do you, because she's not going to believe you until she's discarded.
Val and Lee and Angela basically agree on the point about how, you can't, it's not up to you to make other people see it.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Melly.
And you know what? What a concept.
I know.
Do you know what freedom there is in actually really getting that?
Letting go. The language of letting go. Yeah.
It's so easy, Dee Dee.
I know.
Let it go. Let it go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I told my husband, I said, I've already moved on from all the past garbage because I have some new people in my life and I'm happy, and that stuff doesn't exist. Because that's honestly what a narcissist does anyway. They just act like you never existed. They have their new person and they totally put all their feelings into the new relationship. So
But
you
the
got to do
sad
the same
thing
thing.
is that they always come back to you if they run out of newbies. If for whatever reason their stuff dries up, all of a sudden they're back to you. I can always tell. Because
Well,
all
then
of a sudden the
it
behavior changes, the
it
niceness.
depends. It depends on the narcissist. Apparently, from what I learned today, it's mostly the covert that does that. Like the somatic won't do that. They'll just move on because they're gorgeous looking and everybody will flock to them. I guess because they don't run out of supply, maybe.
Oh, they do when they get older.
Oh, that's true. Once the looks go. Good point.
Then they become a pathetic blob of a mess.
Mm-hmm. That's good, Lee. It's always better when you can spot them ahead of time. It does still hurt bad. You're right, G. It's always going to hurt when somebody rejects you.
You know, I was never diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But what I was diagnosed with was clinical depression and generalized anxiety. Okay.
Right.
But I totally get what the borderline feels.
Mm-hmm.
I get it because when you're raised in an environment that's full of gaslighting and mind games and the triangulation games, and you are a child and you are defenseless.
Yep.
You grow up feeling so misunderstood, and you don't have anyone to protect you, that
Mm-hmm.
you don't grow out of that. It's almost like you're emotionally stunted, and it is a feeling of fight or flight.
Yes, it is. It's a constant feeling of fight or flight. It's
And you
hard.
want everyone to see.
Mm-hmm. You want to shout it.
Yes.
I
You
used to
want to
want
shout it from the
to
rooftop.
get a megaphone. Yes.
It's not me. I swear to God, it's not me.
Yeah, exactly.
But the true freedom is in letting it go.
No, you shouldn't hate them. I don't hate anybody, but honestly, I can definitely cut off and walk away from people without feeling apathetic. That's what it is. I don't hate them. I don't love them. I feel nothing.
It's the
Nothing.
best feeling in the world to feel nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, you can let them be. You can let them be who they are, their own autonomy, do their own thing. But you say, this isn't good for me, so therefore I am walking away.
Yes, they have the right to exist in their own corner of the world.
That's right.
And not in mine.
And I don't want to do anything to them. I have no desire to hurt them.
Right.
I just want to get away from them. And
I do have a desire to expose them, hence the delusion dispeller name.
Right.
I definitely have a desire to do that, to protect other people from being victimized.
Okay, so I shake when people get loud. So, wait, sit back
Hang
and
on.
watch.
I'll go back to that.
I shake when people get loud with me or cause a conflict, still working on it. I understand that, G.
That's
Marie.
normal. Yeah.
And sometimes, G. Marie, don't you feel like, because you feel that the scariness of the anxiety that comes from when you know your mind is being messed with, that you yourself can become the loud one? Or maybe you're not even trying to cause conflict. Maybe you're trying to resolve a conflict, but then when everything's getting all messed up and there's crazy making, that you yourself become this very thing that you have literally been manipulated in your mind to act out on. Isn't that crazy when you think about it? Just that people can literally, if you're not aware enough of your own self and your own emotions, that your own emotions can be used against you.
True. What happens when they come back? How do you keep from taking them back?
Well, until, I don't know, it's taken many years to get to the point where I feel apathetic.
That's really what it is. That's where you got to get to so you don't take them back. And you have to have a sense of self-worth and things that are keeping you occupied. Stay busy. That's the easiest way.
Oh, but you said self-worth. That's huge, Dee Dee.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta know who you are. So when you are put in a position where you're questioning your own self-worth and you're questioning if you're a crazy person, please keep your notebook by you. Please keep writing everything, documenting everything.
Definitely.
You have to, so you know you're not nuts.
Exactly. Good advice. Document. Journal your little tail off.
I became the best documenter in life. That's how come I was so good in the closing department.
Oh, me too. Me too. I know. Oh, they're talking about missing their narcissist. I miss my narcissist too. I miss her a lot, all the time. She was a lot of fun. We used to stay up till 4 a.m. doing impersonations of cartoon characters and Disney characters. She was wonderful. She is a pastor's daughter, a minister herself, but she was scary sometimes.
And it's really hard when they're nice to you. Because let's face it, most of us are very forgiving people.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't held on to any rage or anger. So that when they're nice to you, you kind of forget about all the meanness.
Right. Yeah. Adopt cats and dogs.
Yes.
There's the solution. Get yourself a pet.
Like you said, Dee Dee, stay busy. She's talking about 5. How many animals?
You'll be busy. All right. 5 cats or dogs.
I'm moving to Los Angeles, land of the beautiful people. Oh, he was somatic, eh, Grandma Ducky? Those ones crash and burn. Because if they don't have self-worth, which they don't, and if it depends on looks, they crash and burn at the end.
Well, critters, that's why I made the statement I did in one of my videos, that until I see a genuine, long-lasting change, where people are coming to me and saying certain people have changed and they're different and they're kind to people and their room is fun and they're nice people and whatever, I won't go back to those people because I'm not going to get chewed up and spit out. They can do that anyway.
And you can also tell how they're interacting with other people and if they're playing games with other people.
Mm-hmm. What'd Val say? Yeah, definitely make sure you can afford them to take proper care of them. That's true.
That is very true. Well, borderlines can have the empathy and they have the guilt. They just don't have the it's hard for them to regulate their emotions.
Well, fear is what drives them. Fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, suspicion.
And wanting to protect themselves from what could happen.
Yeah, self-preservation.
Right. And those people can definitely get help.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And this EMDR therapy, I think, is really good for borderlines as well as the DBT.
Yes, and for PTSD. It's excellent. Yes. I sat in on another session today with Matthew, and it's phenomenal. Amazing how this stuff works.
It is. I can't wait for my next session. That's in October.
Did you just have one so far?
I've had actually 3.
And
this started in May, but it's good to have time in between to process.
How do you know processing things? Yeah, I agree. How do you know it's not an act, like when they're hoovering, whatever?
Because they can't sustain it.
Yeah, it's not consistent. If you notice, like with narcissists, there's pattern behaviors. They're the hero, they're the villain, they're the victim, they're the martyr, and it goes on and on. When that cycle stops and they're more consistent, then you know, okay, their therapy's working.
If they can genuinely be happy for you and not be jealous because other people like you too, then there's definitely been improvement. You know, but usually what goes on is there is like with the covert, there's the passive aggressive going behind the scenes, like you said, planting seeds of doubt to people about you so that people won't like you anymore. And they will really go hardcore on you if you have exposed them publicly.
Oh, gosh, yes. Oh, yes.
Then they're going in for the kill, and they're going to pretend that they're your best friend the whole time they're doing it.
Yeah. I care about her. You don't understand.
Or they'll pretend that they're your biggest cheerleader.
Yes, I was
But the
there
whole
for
time they're taking you down, but you don't know it. You just notice like subtle changes of what's going on around you with the people that you associate with.
Yeah, exactly. Why are they pulling away from me? Why do they act like they don't trust me? Why did that phone call feel so cold? Yeah.
Exactly. Or it's kind of a feeling of being iced out.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Definitely. And you don't know why. I've heard of that. Moms being jealous of their own daughters.
I've experienced that actually with mentors.
They hone their craft the older they get. Yeah. This is true, but with the somatic, they're at a disadvantage. I think that they burn and crash at the end, and they're alone.
Well, yeah, because your looks aren't going to last forever.
No.
And that's their whole claim to fame is how they look. They're plastic surgery.
I think it's the cerebral that actually has the most lasting power because they're in their own minds.
Yes, I agree.
And therefore, they feel they are better than you, and they do not need that intimacy.
Yeah, that's sad but true, critters. The problem with the narcissist and the child, is they live through the child a lot of times. And a child is meant to grow up and leave. So a narcissist will have a real hard time when that child grows up and they're gone because they have nobody to mirror them. They will not let children individuate. It's a very hard thing for a child that's raised by a narcissistic parent.
And you know what? I think, and I don't want to name any names because I don't want this to be like, I'm talking about from a cerebral narc. I think that they can even become a cerebral narc when they're put in a position of a parent that will not let them individuate.
Say that again. I didn't quite.
Okay, a cerebral narc where they go into their own minds, and this is how they cope and survive, and they can't bond. I think that when they're put through the abuse of a parent that does not let them individuate, that they can become that type of narcissist due to the fact that becomes a coping mechanism for them.
Well, it also often becomes a thing of recognition. Like if they're the brainy one in the family, that's how they get mom and dad's attention, even if it's fleeting. Oh, wow, we're so proud of him. He did this or that or her. So they learn that they're a performing seal, basically.
But they can also go into their head to ignore the parent that's suffocating them to death.
That's true. Very true.
That won't let them have their own adultness and their own adult lives because that parent doesn't respect boundaries.
I know a lady that's in, I think, her 40s that still lives at home because the parent will not allow the person to individuate. And this person has never driven a car, has never really kept a job, all because the crippling of the parent. It's sad. It's a mommy dearest thing.
Oh, you know what? You made me laugh when you were talking about the somatic, and you said, and they might just think they got to pluck the eyebrows and flatten the hair, and then I thought of my eyebrows.
Not you. I just used it because that's all I could think of.
I was just poking fun at myself. I thought that was funny. That's just kind of how my sense of humor works.
Oh, right. No, it's fine. I know. Well, dare to be different. My eye is still here. Everything's still kind of crooked. I can even see it in the camera, and it's really bothering me. But I can't do anything about it. So why do they want to destroy you, Mo?
Because they want to be you, and they can't be you. They resent everything that you are that they can't be. You are something. They have nothing. They have no identity.
Yeah, you're a constant reminder to them that they failed in their eyes.
Which came from the abuse of whatever they experienced as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And it can go the other way, where they were constantly put on a pedestal as a child and never had to be accountable, and they became that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, narcissism is formed, in my opinion, by one of three things. Either the kid is praised too much, punished too much, or totally neglected. We're not in here for lighter note today, Val. Sorry, but yeah, everybody already did discuss how their day was. But if y'all want to talk about how your day was, go for it. We're talking about my video right now. That's basically what the room is. It's kind of a discussion room about the video.
Has your cousin always lived at home, Angela? 65 years old?
Wow. It's a long time.
Yeah, you want your kids to feel healthy enough to want to move out, you know?
Individuate.
Yeah.
Untie the apron strings.
And you don't want to be the kind of parent where you have to be the center of your child's life and then their partner is supposed to take the back seat. You know, you don't want to be that kind of parent either. And,
Right.
ooh,
T. Marie says she tries to pull away. He does stuff to make her lose her home and lies to cops and stuff.
that's called the smear campaign, and that makes you look crazy and takes away your credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever had a date.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like a stage mom. Exactly. A lot of them.
That's another thing. Mm-hmm.
My ex-husband used to cheat the system to stay on welfare. He's like, well, if they don't know, then it doesn't matter. You're still breaking a rule. You're frauding the government. That doesn't bother you. Why should it? As long as I don't get caught, who cares? It's terrible. He's still like that. He cannot understand why when he's speeding, a cop would pull him over. It shocks him. He's like, oh my gosh, can you believe that? I just got a ticket. Oh, duh, you're speeding. Yeah, but I just got a ticket. I can't believe it. What do you think? You broke the law, dude. You're not absolved from the law. But that's a narcissist for you. They feel they're above any rules and regulations. They can do what they want to do.
There are no boundaries.
No boundaries. Nope.
The only boundaries that apply are that the rest of us need to follow the boundaries when it comes to them, but they don't have to follow any boundaries.
Yep. Yeah, Mommy Dearest with Joan Crawford.
She did such a great job on that part.
Yeah.
The
No metal
scene
hangers.
was perfect. It was perfect. I almost feel like she was also not only narcissistic, but I think she had the BPD too. In that hanger scene, you could tell that she was literally having that meltdown.
Mm-hmm. Fatal Attraction is another one. Big time BPD. That was almost psychopathy, though, I would say. And Girl Interrupted is another good one to watch if you want to see it in action.
Oh, Girl Interrupted, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, the kids become the enablers of a parent even.
Mm-hmm. So T. Marie wants to know, should she go to the people that he told lies to and try to tell them the truth or tell them about him?
Well, then you're going to look nuts. That's what I found from my experience.
Not going to work for you.
You know what? The biggest defense you can have is to stay calm.
That's probably good, T. Marie.
That's the hardest thing to do is to stay calm. True. But that's where you stand within your power. My mother told me this so many times when it came to my stepfather. And this is after she finally realized what he did to me as a kid once he turned on her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's when she was telling me, Lisa, you have to stay calm. This is where you have power. You cannot let the the person that's trying to destroy you know they're destroying you, or that
Right.
you even feel this way inside.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, there's so many movies about it that we can recommend. Seriously, Mommy Mars.
But you know how hard that is, Dee Dee, to not be real?
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're empathic.
Yeah, you want to be real. You want to say, yeah, you want to just lay it out there.
Well, and the hard thing is, as children, at least if you grew up in a kind of home like I did, you're taught by your mother or your father that, if you just be kind to other people, they'll be kind to you. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. And then you get out in the world and you meet a narcissist and you're like, they don't care how kind I am to them. They treat me like garbage. Mom, why didn't you tell me about these kinds? Everybody is not a sweet person if you're sweet to them. It doesn't work that way in the real world. I wish, but no, that's ideal. That's all it is idealistic.
Yeah, Angela Critters, I can totally understand how she turned out the way she did.
Wow. Yeah, Gone Girl. Whoa, that was a bad movie. I hated
that.
That
was a psychological thriller. That's what I call that kind of movie.
I couldn't even look on that part. I just kind of left the room. That was terrible.
Okay, Leah D, you are so right.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, what I found is that when you don't react and it's really genuine, like you actually don't feel that reaction, that's when their balloon is truly deflated, because you're not going to be giving off any kind of clue that you give a crap, because you really don't.
Well, Meadows, you want to join us? You can come up on panel. Oh, there's that other one about Baby Jane, too. Yeah, true dare to be different. Sure
they want it. They want you to react.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, you are questioning your own sanity. You better be journaling, you better be documenting, or you will think you're nuts.
That's the disillusionment at the end. Yep, it leaves you.
And you can be driven to a nervous breakdown. I have been driven to one. I know what it feels like to go from a vibrant, energetic soul and to be sucked dry to the point where there's nothing left of me at the end, and then have to come back from that.
Well, that's why I went on the Topamax, because of the narcissist in my life, the mentor. That's what took away my memory, was the stupid Topamax stuff. Because of that. Because of the disillusionment and the pain that I felt from all that awful abuse I went through from her. Yeah, whatever happened to Baby Jane?
I gotta write that down. I don't think I've seen that. Is that the one? Is that where the baby was? No, that's not where the baby was stolen from.
No, Baby Jane is an actress, and she ends up old beyond her time or something and washed up, and the other lady is also an actress or something and tries to run her life and micromanage her, and I can't really explain the whole plot, but it's an
actual movie, right?
Oh yeah, it's an old movie. A lot of those old movies are really intense before they had like CGI and all the stuff we have now.
I like old movies better.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to get to that point where you literally will not react anymore.
Right.
And when you get there, you are truly, you have arrived. And it doesn't mean that you can't be mad or upset, but what it means is that you're going to move through it, you won't ruminate on it, and you will be done with it.
Mm-hmm. And if you do need help with that, I have some videos where I'm holding a red book up called How to Break Your Addiction to a Person. It will help walk you through step by step to break that cycle.
Correct, Liardi. My ex told me that he fed off of me. He actually told me that. I don't think he realized what he just said.
Yeah, they tell on themselves.
He's like, I feed off of you. He was getting very upset at the end because there was nothing left of me. I became a complete hollow mess.
Let's talk about some of the crazy things they'll say, like some of the tactless, crazy stuff they say. You just said one. Here's one from me. Not from me, but to me from the narcissist. I'm only saying what you're thinking.
I'm only saying what you're thinking.
Yeah, like if I didn't like somebody or I was uncomfortable with somebody, she would out and out say something like, you know, oh man, they're ugly or they can't say worth a darn. I'd be like, oh my gosh, you just said that. She's like, I'm only saying what you're thinking. She would just be tactless and not care about people's feelings.
Or how about when they say something to you, then you paraphrase it back to make sure you're understanding what the heck they just said, because they're trying to blame you for something that had to do with their own behavior. And then they say they never said what you just paraphrased back to them, as if you're losing your mind.
Yeah.
I never said that, or I never did that.
Gaslighting.
But they just did it.
That's a form of verbal gaslighting.
How about you make me do it? You make me do this.
Yeah,
you make me act this way.
Yeah. As they're beating you. I'm sorry I have to do this. Really. You have to.
Or I was just directing you across the room, face first, into that couch. I was just directing you. I know I had to pick you up and throw you like a torpedo across the room, but I was just directing you.
Directing you. Yeah, jeez.
That's what I was told. I was directing you.
Famous words in therapy. If she would just mind me, I wouldn't have to yell at her.
There you go.
She'd just mind me and do what I tell her to do. I'll never forget the one thing that my ex-husband said. When I said, I'm going to serve the Lord, he said, I'm the only person your niece should be bowing to as your Lord. I was like, whoa, did you just proclaim yourself God? Did you seriously just do that?
Well, yeah, because he's the head of the house, you know.
He was dead serious too. I'm the only Lord your niece should ever bow to. Oh my gosh.
I think Meadows wants to come on, but I don't know if she can do it through the link, because I don't know if she's on her computer.
Oh, no, G. Marie, you're not blocked. I unblocked everybody I could unblock that didn't have some kind of scummy name.
Wait till I tell everyone what you did to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like a lot of the stuff that happened in my life was very covert stuff.
Oh, I was just joking. Can't you take a joke? Oh yeah. That's a real common one.
And that's also gaslighting in a way as well, to make you think that you're just overreacting. That's another one. You're just overreacting. You're too emotional.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yes, they question it. They question they turn it around onto you into a question back on you. They're like flipping everything back on you.
Yeah, Lee R.D., can you give an example of that? I kind of know what you're talking about, but if you can give an example, it'd be helpful. Hey, Tawanda. Yeah, G. Marie, you're being seen without a problem. It's okay. She's going to destroy you, the mistress.
You mean the mistress is going to destroy you?
He's using his girlfriend against you or something?
Or maybe there is the mistress, but you don't know the mistress is there, and then you don't know why all of a sudden all this weird behavior is happening.
Right. Yeah, they deflect. You were like a project I wanted to fix you. Oh, gosh, yes. That's what my former narcissist, I'll call her Dawn, that's what she said to me. I tried to make it work, but there was nothing I could do to help you. I'm like, I wasn't here to be helped. I was here to find out if we could go into ministry together. I didn't know I was your project. Sorry, I can't recognize Dove chocolates from Nestle's. I like them all. Oh, that was her complaint. You don't understand, Laura. You don't even know the difference between a good Dove chocolate and Nestle's. Like, chocolate? What's there to know? She got
She
mad.
said you might get into a coughing jag.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's okay. You can get into a coughing jag. But if you want to come up here and share, that's fine.
Yeah, Misery is definitely a great case study.
I can't watch that. Ugh.
I know it is very hard to
Gruesome.
watch, but she's very psychotic.
Yes. Okay, that's fine, Meadows.
Bam.
Oh, yeah. They don't answer questions. They just mimic you. How was your day?
Oh.
How was your day?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Or you ask a simple question and they just can't answer it. And then, and it could be such a benign question. I mean, like the how was your day? But let's say there's some like really weird behavior going on and you need to make it make sense in your mind because you're experiencing cognitive dissonance and you have like some facts in front of you that kind of insinuate your partner's doing some things they shouldn't be doing. So you show them that, but then they just say, no, that's not true. And I don't care what that says in black and white because I know what's true. But yet the actual evidence is showing you that what they're saying is a lie.
Right.
Like that will really mess with your head.
It will. Explain what cognitive dissonance is, because a lot of people don't know what that is.
It's when you have two opposing ideas that are true at the same time, but you know that it can't be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're opposing ideas.
Right.
Like you got all the facts that show you that it's this way, but your partner's saying no. They're not guilty of any of that, but all the facts are saying in black and white, like real facts, that it is. But you can't rectify it. Then you start thinking you're crazy because you cannot get anything. Like, how can this person be so adamant that they're not guilty when everything's saying they are?
Mm-hmm.
But they're adamant.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, she was really good in that.
Who was? And what?
Kathy Bates.
Oh, yes. Very, very incredibly
psychotic.
Yes. That's
scary.
Craziness of it all. There's this one video I was watching on the LuLaRoe, which is the same thing. Okay, now let's look at the leaders of that cult.
Yeah.
I have got to post that link, I think, on my community page. It was the best darn I left this cult kind of a video I ever seen in my life about.
Wow, I can't wait to watch it. Make sure you email it to me.
I will. It is so good. This girl did such a great job. And it's like you're in a religion. What do they always do in these MLLs? They always try to put God in there, and then they always try to tell you family comes first. But then everything that you're doing takes you away from your family and God. And that's where you get the cognitive dissonance. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And in religion, in the religions that are cult-like, everything, you never feel good enough, like you're not doing enough because you're not doing all the work and all the preaching and all the putting out of their literature and their books and the recruiting. And it's supposed to be, but then they tell you, no, but the relationships between you and God, and you always need to put your family, take care of your family first. But yet on the other hand, you're supposed to not take that job that's going to put food on your table because it's going to interrupt a Thursday night meeting.
That's called the double bind.
Yeah.
What you're talking about.
It does give you cognitive dissonance though, because on one hand, you're supposed to be doing this, but then on the other hand, it's two opposing ideas. It doesn't make any sense. So you're never ever feeling at peace of mind. You don't have a peace of mind.
Right.
And you're never allowed to be negative.
Nope.
You're not allowed to question or have a different opinion.
True.
There's no difference between these MLMs and these cult religions either. There really is no difference because they throw God in there.
Mm-hmm.
And your family is not going to come first.
Oh, no, I was glad they gave me the antipsychotic critters. That's what got me sane enough to come away from the narcissist and not keep taking her back. Had to beat the demons out of you? Yikes. Yeah, a lot of times narcissistic and borderline moms think their kids have devils or demons. Yes, it does dare to be different. It rewires the brain. Definitely.
That's another thing when you talk about the subject of brain plasticity. If once you can come through all this, you do have to literally go through the art of rewiring your own brain.
Yes,
which
you
is
do.
A hard, long road ahead of you.
Very scary when you come out of a really severely narcissistic relationship. That's where the delusionment comes, where you're just like, oh my God, did that just really happen? Could that person really be that evil? I mean, it's terrible. I remember driving home for 6 hours from Missouri after being abused for 6 weeks in her trailer and just crying to God and saying, oh my God, what happened? What just happened? Did that really just happen? Oh my God. I mean, that's how it was the whole time, driving home for 6 hours, just crying out to God to show me, did I do something wrong? Why aren't we going to go and be missionaries together? We were so close. And she just basically hooked up with my former best friend who had already ditched me right in front of my eyes. And she came over to me. She was talking to her on the computer. She comes over. She goes, Laura, I know what you're thinking. I'm like, what am I thinking? She goes, you know that don't you think that I don't know what she's doing? Do you know that I don't know that I know what she's doing? I'm like, what? She goes, I know what she's trying to do. I know she's trying to take your place in my ministry. It's never going to happen, girlie. I told you you're going to be with me and my husband forever.
Oh my God, that's the triangulation.
Oh, very much so. She is an expert at it. Very much so.
Oh my God. Oh, you still love me, don't you? You know it's still you and me.
Oh, always, yeah.
While
Girlie,
they're going behind the scenes and gradually taking you down.
Yeah, preparing to kick me out of the ministry and put the other lady in there. Yep.
I think you were becoming a problem, Laura. Were you asking questions?
Do you think? Do you honestly think I would take all that laying down without saying anything? Come on. This is me we're talking about here. The boat rocker.
But then we also have the part of us that literally thinks that maybe we did something wrong. And that's the part I'm talking about where we question ourselves. Did I do something wrong?
I did at first, but I'm such a strong personality that I felt I was there to set her straight at that point.
But when you were trying to come to terms with what had happened.
Oh, yeah, or initially, yeah.
Initially, that's what I'm saying. Initially, that's what you're feeling. Now, don't tell me that they ever feel that.
Oh, I know.
They don't ever think, oh, did I do something wrong?
Well, actually, this person did. She begged me to always forgive her because if you don't forgive me, you don't understand. I have to go to Father, and Father will be mad at me. Father was God. And she believed that if she didn't treat people right, she was in trouble. But yet, at the same time, she didn't really care. She was a twisted sort of person. And I was like, why are you afraid of God? She's like, oh, girlie, you don't understand. It's really bad when I don't do what he wants me to do. You don't want to do that to me. Please say you forgive me, please. I'm like, what the heck?
Gina Marie brought up something about her hubby and her having evidence of his cheating. And having that evidence wasn't good enough. And that's what I'm talking about when they're saying, oh, you're just nuts. You're just losing your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You're crazy. Yep. You know, that happened to my mom, too.
Oh, wow.
And she couldn't prove nothing to the elders. Why? Because there weren't 2 witnesses that he was cheating. Well, how many times do you have 2 witnesses there when you're committing adultery?
Right.
I mean,
I always wonder about that Bible verse, and they caught her in the act of adultery. What were they doing? Peeping through her window? Or did they walk in the house to visit? Or what? You know, caught her in the act. What does that even mean?
And the thing with the pedophilia cases that are going down, which is how this religion is actually being taken down, is their policy and procedure that they claim is biblical, that you need 2 witnesses in order for them to do anything to a child being molested.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, no, that actually applies to the court system. All right, that's
Yep.
not applying to child pedophilia.
Right.
That's why in the Bible there's also the woman where if you hear her in the field and she's yelling and she's been raped, you don't need 2 witnesses in order for them to actually bring about justice for that woman.
True.
I think that they're just cherry picking in that regard.
Probably.
And that's another thing. They'll take something as something like God, something that is so precious to man, and use that to twist it and twist God into their image, not what God is.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, Meadows, if you want to come up here, you can just cover your screen if you don't want to be seen on camera. But this is the link if you want to. Anybody, whoever wants to discuss this.
Or you can just not click the camera button and only a mic button.
Right, right. You can do that too, and we just have your voice. Plenty of people on here go in the dark and talk. It's not unusual on YouTube.
Yeah, sometimes it's just, not a comfortable thing to do.
Right.
Or you might feel like you're just looking like crazy looking. Like I know I'm crazy looking right now.
Yeah.
Definitely not made up. That's for sure.
At least your lips aren't crooked like mine. I don't like it. I want my mouth back to normal.
It's going to come back, Dee Dee. I just know it.
I hope so.
I just know it, Dee Dee.
It's honestly the worst first thing in the morning when I wake up. That's when I can feel like this pull on my cheek. It's just weird. Oh, there she is.
Is she there?
No. More or less.
Right. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, now you're going to have to, if you have an echo, that means you have to mute your YouTube. Wait, do you have an echo? Say something.
Me? I don't have an echo.
No, I'm talking to Meadows.
I don't have an echo.
Okay, good. No. We're good.
She just sounds a little hollow, like she's in a hallway or something.
Okay.
But it's not bad.
The only thing is she doesn't have her name typed in, so everyone, that's Meadows.
Yeah.
Meadows, can you see the chat?
Yeah, I can see both of you.
And the words, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What you got to say, girlfriend?
You guys are talking at the same time.
I am not talking. I'm only talking now. Are we delayed?
I think so.
Yeah, it's possible. Weird. Yeah, there probably is a little bit of a delay.
So how are we going to do this?
I don't know. Just give her a chance to talk and wait, and then we'll talk, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, we're going to stop talking, and then you can talk.
Do I have to shut the feed off from YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, that's what it is.
She's going to shut off her YouTube feed.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now it's normal.
There you go.
Oh, goodness, this is great.
Okay. Oh, jeez. I covered my camera. I have the flu.
That's fine.
It's horrible. And when I get on these coughing jags, they last like 15 minutes. I'm not kidding.
I'm so sorry.
So I'll mute it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the narcissist thing. Why do you think I don't go anywhere? I can't deal with it anymore. It's just so stupid. If you want to see a place full of them, go to the UP pub. It's full of them. Lisa?
Yeah, so I don't hang out. Just same reason you don't hang out in those type of establishments.
Yeah, it's just too much, I used to work having to service all the bars in the lower Michigan.
Wow.
And geez, by the time you get home tonight, and Lisa knows me, I didn't want to talk to nobody. And that's weird for me, right?
Yeah. What would you say in regard to what went on with you and your? It was your husband who was into the Jehovah's Witness thing, right?
Oh yeah, he's an elder now.
Wow.
And your daughter was abused by him and the stepmother, right?
Yes.
And can you kind of elaborate on how the concept of the malignant narcissism kind of played a big role within that whole dynamic?
Oh, let me tell you something. When I dated him for a year and a half. I could do no wrong. I mean, I had never been around anybody who treated me that well. The day I married him, and I'm not kidding, when the reception was over, we came to the house I'm in right now. This was my house. And he grabbed me in the kitchen and he said, he looked right at me, he pointed his finger and he said, "Okay, you're my wife now, and this is how it is. My wife doesn't wear makeup. My wife doesn't go anywhere without me. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine." I'm not joking. And I about fell on the floor. I was like,
Well, we would say that the honeymoon phase, love bombing, was over once he had you and was married.
"You got it."
Wow.
It was bad. And then when he got into that religion, because his brother-in-law is the one that was in it and got him into it. And I thought, well, he'll quit carousing in the bars and, he'll be more like a husband or whatever. Boy, was I wrong. Because I encouraged it in the beginning because he seemed to be doing fine. And then he told me I had to go. So I did the whole thing, the Thursday Bible studies, all that junk. And one day I came home from that hall and I said, I feel like someone just sucked me, like I was a piece of dirt and I just got sucked up in a vacuum. And this is not right. Something's wrong here. And I said to Dave after that, I said, "You know what? You can go back if you want, but I'm not going." I said, "I don't like the way I feel there." And I said, "They scare me. I don't like it." And he looked at me and he said, "They told me you were filled with demons." And I never took a beating like that in my life. And he choked me out. He choked me right out. I woke up on the floor, and
So sorry, Meadows.
yeah, it was bad. It was really bad, and I could hear him in the family room crying. He thought he killed me, and I knew then and there I had to get out. After I divorced him, all of a sudden he got real nice again, and so of course I took advantage of that. But I knew I'd never marry him, and I'd never live with him.
Right.
But my daughter calls me cold-hearted because I can really walk away from a situation. I mean, just right now, when something's not right, I can walk away and not go back. And
That's empathetic, not cold-hearted.
Well, I'm good at it, though. I really am.
Well, I think you've gotten to the point, Meadows, where you, like you said, you are no longer triggered and you no longer react.
No, I don't. As a matter of fact, I was in sales for so many years. Man, I was in high price sales. Everybody I worked with lied, cheat, steal. I mean, you wouldn't believe how horrible the people I worked with. Luckily, I didn't have to be in an office all day with them because I couldn't do it. But I could get out on my own, and the way I looked at it is if I represent a good product with a good company behind it, and it's got value and you want it, I'll sell it to you. That's how I looked at it. But I didn't want to deal with all that manipulation. It just, to me, was so horrible.
Oh, yeah.
But they all do it, and it's sickening. And some are worse than others. And they feel righteous for doing it, and they feel proud. You work around them, you get to know them. They're crazy. I don't
Oh
like being around people like that.
yeah. Mm-mm. We
My,
shouldn't be.
my dad always told me, Dad, if you don't learn how to play the game, they'll eat you alive. That's what my dad taught me this.
And you know what? I don't even want to play their game. I want to create a whole brand new game. I am so done with this game.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's what your friends are for. You get decent friends, so when you have to leave that world that you have to make a living in, you go back to zero, you go back to sanity, and you can get away from it. You can choose your friends. You can't choose your family, and you can't choose exactly who you're going to work with. So you have to just recognize it for what it is and literally let it roll off your back and don't let it affect you. And I know for some people that's hard. And I know when I was younger, when people would insult me, it really hurt. But as I got older, it's like I just kind of laugh at them and walk away because I know who I am.
That's
So
good.
that's it. And that's the way I look at it. I'm not perfect. I never will be, but I try. So that's as long as I'm trying, I feel like I'm doing something good.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And believe me, it took many years of therapy to get me here.
Been there, done that.
Yeah,
And
but
I'm
I
still doing it. I've been doing
Me too.
intervals,
Me too.
intervals of therapy, like where I would be in therapy, then I would go out for a while
Mm-hmm.
and try to do more journaling and more trying to, I guess you could say, grow from it. And
Yes.
then go back when I felt I needed it again. And once again, I'm in it again.
see journaling for me actually depressed me when I went back and read it, and it would pull me right back into that situation.
Mm.
And so one day I took them all and I burned them, and it was the best because it was like, okay, that's my past. There, gone. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not going to control me, and I'm not going to go back and revisit it all the time.
Right. Yeah.
So
Sometimes
that's why I
it's a
quit journaling.
At the end, when I had my nervous breakdown right before my ex had left me, I took all the journals from the age of 16 all the way up till the age of 43, 44, and I did. I had a big bonfire, and it set me free. It was symbolic of setting me free from it all. And then I started doing the abstract art,
mm.
um, rather than journaling, as a way to cope and feel good. Actually create art pieces through the things that I was working through in my mind. But I still do write things down because sometimes some things just have to be vented, but it's best vented on paper. And I feel like I'm getting it out of my head rather than putting it out there where it can actually come back and bite me in the butt.
Yeah.
Actually, if you have a good friend to talk to bounce it off of.
Oh, I don't want to always bounce that off of my friend. It would make them feel down.
No, if you have a well-adjusted friend, because it didn't happen to them, it happened to you. So they're an objective type person. And if they really are your friend, which I used to have those kind of people around me, I could go and work it out in my head and then go, they helped me with it. And I was very fortunate to have that. I just wish I still did. So
I hear you
What do
there.
you do, Dee Dee?
I'm a self-talker and a God talker. I just
I
I say, God help me, stop the world and let me off. A lot of times I'll say either change him or change me or take me out of this situation. But then I'll tell myself, you know what? You've gotten through worse than this. You'll be okay. You can do this. Now go and figure out what you can do and stop focusing on what you can. That's how I do it.
Okay. I do that too, Dee Dee. So I think I'm a self talker too. I definitely talk to God every single day. And I'm a lot smarter than I used to be when I was younger. I used to actually try to get everything resolved all on my own without asking for help from a higher power. And then I finally learned, oh my God, I didn't have to, wait till I was almost dead from trying to fix this myself. I could have asked for help a lot sooner. And because as soon as I would ask for help, things would work out.
Yep.
And I would have that sense of calmness that would come over me.
Me too. There's like a peace, and you walk away going, okay, I don't have to worry about this anymore. He's got it.
I get it.
Yeah.
No, don't you know that little trick when you can't find something and you have to say out loud to yourself, I will find that in 15 minutes, or I'll remember that in 15 minutes. And for some reason, your subconscious brain will bring it out in you every time, but you have to ask for it. I think it's like
I never
anything
knew
else.
that.
Yeah, I think it's like if you have a problem. I mean, you should hear me sometimes walking through a store talking to myself. But
Me too.
sometimes you have to say it out loud to yourself because your brain, your subconscious knows how to work all this out. It's just not coming to you at the time. You know when it's wrong. You know when it makes you feel bad. And you just, you have to work out in your head. Don't let people abuse you. You walk away. Walk away. Like it's like you're in a bad fog and you want to go out to where the sun's shining.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. I mean, I've been in enough places. It's terrible. You just gotta leave sometimes. It's better.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah, your brain can work all that out. You just don't give yourself the credit.
Well, when I was Catholic, I prayed to Saint Anthony, the finder of lost things. And then when I wasn't a Catholic anymore, I just went right to God. And sometimes now I'll just be like, where is it? I can't find it. My husband will go, what are you looking for? I'll be like, that notebook. And I'll be like, oh, here it is. He'll be like, you're welcome. I'll say thank you. It's the weirdest thing. It's always happened with us.
Yeah,
All I got to do is say, where the heck is it? And Matthew will be like, what? I'll tell him what it is and I'll find it just that quick. It's never failed yet.
It's like when you get all frustrated, your brain goes on freeze,
Yeah, I think so.
You got to back off sometimes and just go, hey, to the universe, yourself, or out loud. But it helps. It works. I don't get it, but it works.
Are you one of those law of attraction people, Judy?
No.
I can't.
No.
No.
She said
Well,
no.
she said shout out to the universe. So I was like, okay.
That'll work.
I think that she's not into any particular religion, and I think after experiencing Jehovah's Witnesses, you don't want to be put in that organized faction of any kind ever again. Because
I get it. I get that. Another thing I was going to tell you, One Love, there's a group called the 12 Tribes. I don't know if you've heard of them. That's another group, if you haven't heard of them, to look into. They're the ones that I've been working on exposing for years. I have a Facebook group, and I also have some videos on them. I can't remember if I put them back on or not. But yeah, they're insidious. They're terrible. They're just as bad, if not worse, than Jehovah's Witnesses. I think they're all terrible.
There's a group called the 12 Tribes. There's a group called the 12 Tribes.
Sure is.
No kidding.
And my husband and I ended up joining a Jewish church for a while. When I found the 12 Tribes, I was like, oh, I like the idea of communal living and wearing the head covering and all that stuff. So I got really into that. And we were in a church, not a 12 Tribes church, but a Hebrew Roots church, which turned out to be very cultic. And we were watching them the other day on the video because they record all their services. And I'm like, I really don't miss being there. I miss the people. I do. You always get attached to the people. You make friends. You're doing common things together. In that church, we were doing the hora, the dance together. And I love dancing. So I miss all that. And I sang with the pastor's daughter. But something just didn't feel right after a while. For one thing, when the pastor was gone, everything fell apart. It was like he literally ran everything. And there's a danger in that when one man is responsible for everything that much. That was a huge red flag for me. So I stuck around a little while longer. And then all of a sudden, one of the best teachers in there of the Old Testament up and leaves. They said, the pastor announced, oh, well, we had a little situation. We're not going to get into it. He went and joined up with Rabbi somebody, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, wait a minute. this guy and the pastor were like close friends for years, and all of a sudden they have a disagreement and he's leaving the church. Something's wrong. And we just started noticing little controlling things going on. We couldn't really always pinpoint it, but Matthew and I both agreed together. We were like, this doesn't feel right. Something's not feeling right about it. So we ended up leaving after 9 months. So that was hard, but
I feel that it's best for me to keep that relationship uncluttered with any middleman establishment.
mm-hmm.
And because I found that policies and procedures that were created had nothing to do with that relationship.
Right.
And it had more to do with serving them as leaders.
Mm-hmm. Okay, critters, have a good night. I think we're all energy anyways. I agree with you, G.
Yeah, and I think fellowship can come in even just getting together like we are tonight. It's all, I understand that we need fellowship, but you sure in the heck don't want some leader that's in charge of it all, that where that leader takes the place of God.
Right. No man is supposed to take the place of God, or woman for that matter.
And Jesus didn't go around setting up religions. In fact, he was really disgusted with those Pharisees.
Mm-hmm. He sure was.
He was just had enough of them with their ridiculousness.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but how do you know which religion is real and which one isn't? And who actually keeps writing all these religions, and they keep changing it?
Because they're man-made, and that's why I believe it's supposed to be between us and God, and I don't think we're supposed to be having that middleman when we are supposed to fellowship. But the thing is, when you get man who sets up a religion, they turn themselves into God without them even recognizing they're doing it. And then before you know it, well, we're serving narcissistic fools.
One Love or Meadows? Can you answer Lee's question? Because I didn't go through the Jehovah's Witnesses, so I don't really know.
I have a large no solicitation by my front door. The Jehovah's Witnesses still knock on my door and leave booklets. They don't stop. Why?
I got a good one. Do what I do. Open the door and say, well, when you get rid of all your child molesters and quit protecting them, then come back and see me.
Well, yeah, that does shock them. Yeah, if you actually, they're not listening to you. But if you would tell them to take your address off of their lists because they have territory, then they will do that, and they will never come back again because they actually have territory. Of course, now they're also doing a whole new thing called cart witnessing. So that's kind of taking a lot of that door-to-door away, but they're losing a lot of members right now.
What was that about territory? I missed that. I had to turn the fan off. I was freezing.
They have territories, like when I was in there, where they would be divided up and we'd be given cards and territories that we would have to cover in field service.
Oh, yeah, we did that too. Handing out tracts.
Lists of addresses and all this personal information of the householders. Well, a lot of that stuff's illegal now, So you just come right out and tell them, take my name off of your territory list and do not come back to my house.
When I lived downstate, they all knew never to come to my house. They knew it. Now here, I think Dave sent them over here since I've been back. And I told them, I said, do you know who my ex-husband is? And they said, oh, yeah. And I said, then why are you here? I said, don't come back. Yeah. But yeah, they're annoying, aren't they? Especially when they get the dogs going.
And see, for me, in my mind, I'm always tying the whole concept of narcissism, which leads to all these other horrible personality disorders, when you have to experience it. And I saw how the pattern of the same abuse within the church and the same types of abuses that go on in corporate and the same types of abuses that go on everywhere we look. And it has to always do with something or someone that wants to be worshipped, so to speak, or looked up to as some type of a leader.
Yeah, the higher most people make it up in corporate or religion, it goes to their head and they don't know how to handle it and they abuse it. So when if you're going to hire people, you got to kind of keep that into consideration when you're interviewing people about, are they going to come in here and lord over everybody? You don't want people like that. You want people who work together.
Right.
And if you don't want to give anybody a promotion in a religion that feels better than somebody else. Or
yeah,
like,
but the religions are run, well, the types of religions we're talking about are set up by narcissists.
Right.
actually, the JWs were set up by the CIA
Well,
and the
I know, but
Masons.
now you're going to get into CIA, but then that's going to get into how all these packages were made to look different when they're not. And what is the CIA made up of? Whoever's running that getup is narcissistic. That's why I'm saying the whole picture, the big picture shows you that it's not just narcissism, it's psychopathy as well when you're getting that high up. And that's when you get into crimes against humanity. So it starts little with us, right? Just in our little part of the world, our little me, little you, in our families. We go through abuse, that there's cycles of abuse. But then the world is merely just a bigger picture of what we're experiencing on a very small level.
Mm-hmm. True. Just don't move to Hollywood.
Oh gosh, no.
Try Las Vegas. There's a place for you.
Yeah, no thank you, neither one.
I lived in Las Vegas for a while. It was terrible.
Didn't Molly Golightly come from Las Vegas or something?
I don't know. I didn't
She
stay
lived
long
there.
enough to really get into the local culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there on a job I was doing real estate back then.
And you
So
know what? I'll bet you any money that's why Jesus was never going to be big or have any
Mm-hmm.
power on this earth, and he didn't want it.
Exactly. Humble.
Yes,
actually,
he
he
did
didn't
not
want the
want it.
responsibility.
No, he did not want what could be given to him, all the power to be worshipped and be king.
He told
And
Satan that, Lucifer.
yeah,
But that's
he
part
didn't
of
want none of it.
responsibility. That's part of responsibility. And then if they're crazy, they're going to abuse that responsibility.
No, I honestly believe he wanted no part of it. And I honestly believe that on earth, that if any of us get near anything like that, it is going to be dangerous. It'll test us. It'll show what we're really made of if we're ever put in a position where we could have that kind of power.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my father taught me something because he ran a large company. And sometimes he had 2,000, 5,000 employees at a time. And when I got into the position where I was hiring people for a company, he said, don't make your workers do what you're not willing to do alongside by side with them.
Mm-hmm. True.
And he says, because then they will hate you and they won't work with you. And I said, all right. So that's what I used to do. And so no matter what I told other people to do, I wouldn't say, hey, you go there and do that. I would always say, come on, let's go get it done. And they were all in there and everybody would pitch in. And I don't know, that's just the way I did things. When I found the finger pointers, I wouldn't work for finger pointers. You do that and you do that. I don't work for those kind of people and I won't do it because I won't be treated that way. So,
yeah.
Well, usually it will be a mom and pop type establishment that treats their workers with that kind of respect. I never saw that in corporate.
you have to demand it.
What I saw in corporate was that if I were a bulldozer, I would survive and I would make it.
See, wherever I work, especially in the last 10 years of when I was working, they called me. I didn't call them. I moved across the country for them and I was getting job offers all the time and they knew it. So if you've got a problem with the way I'm doing it, and everywhere I went, I was number one sales. I said, if you got a problem with what I'm doing, I don't have to be here because I'm not going to do it your way. Because their way was always had something in it that I was uncomfortable doing, and I'm not going to do it. But I don't know many other people that do that like I do. So, you know,
Well, I think personally that you need to go out on your own.
now that's too much responsibility. Then you need
Well,
accountants
I
and all
can't
that
work
crap.
for, I honestly find that now that I'm more I'm coming into my own, all right, that they don't want to hire people like me that actually have knowledge and wisdom,
That's why
all
you
right?
need to go into management. You go
No,
into
you don't go into
management.
management because you're not hired as a manager unless you are got one of these personality disorders.
Not really. Not
Seriously.
really. No.
I have never met anybody who actually was not willing to cut throat to climb that ladder to get promoted. In fact, I only noticed yes men got promoted.
Those are only people that want to get rich and famous. I never wanted to get rich and famous. I just wanted to get to a level where I couldn't be pushed around, and I wouldn't push the people under me around because I knew it was terrible and you don't get anything out of it, and it hurts productivity. And you're there to shine. You're there to do your job and do it good and be an example, not somebody who's going to cutthroat everybody, because there's a jillion people who'll do that.
They don't like people that do a job and do it good. You will outshine them.
I don't know, the companies I work for, they sure like me. So
Well, the companies have changed, Meadows. Believe you
yeah.
me, they're not like they used to be. I don't know. Do you think they're like they used to be, Dee Dee?
Not the ones I've been at. They're
Well,
pretty young.
when you get into the big ones, like I worked for World Pepsi,
Mm-hmm.
and I got out of there because they were just too cutthroat for me. And the other one was when I was in real estate, I worked for the Fairfield group. And no, the way they treated their employees, no way. No way. I didn't want to work for them. And second of all, I couldn't see the value in what they were doing, to be honest with you.
Mm.
So I couldn't do it. Because to me, that would be like selling you a used car that was going to fall down or fall apart down the road. Yeah, I can't do it.
I think the biggest place I ever worked for was Sam's Club, maybe combined life insurance.
How was it there?
Sam's Club was awful. The manager treated me like crud. She made me get on my hands and knees and scrub out the grate of the stupid floor and manage the whole entire thing myself. And it took when the manager came in from the whole Sam's Club, he's like yelling in the door, "Are you almost done with the dishes in the kitchen and stuff? I gotta lock up." I'm like, dude, I'm one person, one tiny 5-foot person. How am I going to do the dishes, do all the pizza pans, all of the receptacles, clean out the pizza, whatever the oven thing is, and clean up the frozen yogurt machine and the floors and mop everything down? How am I going to do that in 2 hours? I'm one person. He's like, well, I'll get some people to help you. It took 4 other grown guys to help me clean, and even with them it took us 4 more hours to clean it, and he expected me to do that place in an hour or two. I finally quit. I was like, well, actually the way I quit was the manager, my overseer manager that actually directly worked with me, she ended up in the hospital almost dying, and she came back with a cane and stuff. And I was used to using this one register because the other one broke down, the cash register. She comes back, she's like, I hope you're not on my cash register right now. Is that my register? I said, this is what I was told to use yesterday. You don't ever get into my register. She just like humiliated me in front of everybody. And that was it. I walked out and I never went back. I will not be treated like that by anybody. Period.
You gotta stand up for yourself. When that
she
lady came
stands
to
up
you
for
and said,
herself.
"What are you doing in my cash register?" You tell her, "The boss told me take it up with him," and I would have just worked on what I was doing.
Well, she is the boss.
So so it was 2 bosses with the same
Yeah, she was the manager over me, and then the higher up boss was the one that told me, "Are you almost done in the kitchen?" Yes, ma'am. Are you done in the kitchen?
right.
And
So you
that's the
tell her
kind of
take it up with
bogus little
him.
games that get played within companies. That's why I'm saying, Meadows, I don't know about you, but I don't really think that you're going to climb a ladder in any kind of corporate world unless you are willing to to actually bend your own values.
Well, to a certain point, yes.
And
Now, that's why I quit Pepsi, and that's why I quit Fairfield, because I was going to be forced to do stuff I didn't want to do. I'm not comfortable with doing, so I didn't do it. I left.
Yeah, so I don't really think for me that, I think the best thing I can do is try to figure out how I can start up something on my own. And I think independent contracting is the best way to roll until you can actually figure out how to do your own kind of setup as far as business is concerned, or learn how to do it.
That's what I did.
Find out what your niche is.
Yes, 20 years I was an independent contractor. It's a very nice place to be in.
That's what I'm in now.
Yep.
Tutoring.
Yes.
Online tutoring.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a lot of write-offs with what you're doing, Dee Dee.
Really?
Yes, you write off your internet. You write off everything that goes into what you need to perform that job.
Maybe you can help me with that sometime offline.
Yes.
Phone.
Are you kidding me? If you do your write-offs right, they owe you money.
They'll owe you money, Dee Dee.
I'm not kidding.
By the time you're done.
I've heard that. I just don't know the procedure to do it. I'm not the smartest person when it comes to that, so I'll just ask you one love later.
You gotta save receipts. Save every stupid little receipt. You have to have records of everything.
Yep.
That's just in case they would audit you.
Yeah. Right. And if
but Dee Dee, where did you want to direct this interview or this discussion? Because I think we're getting off track.
Oh, well, we were just talking about different types of narcissists, like from my video.
Yeah, so, but you see, this conversation did have something to do with it, though.
Yeah, but we're talking about 4 types of narcissists.
Right. I just want to say this before you guys move on. I left a message on your YouTube, the last one you made today, and I said this. I look at religion like this. Think of a big mall, like the Mall of America, and every store is a different religion. Okay? Now, over that store is the management system over the store, and all those people have to listen to what management says in the rules, and then they have somebody over them. Religion's the same way. It's a corporation. It's just a big conglomerate. And to be honest with you, I think one person controls them all. That's what I believe.
And everything out there is based on a pyramid.
Got it. You got it.
That's why
go ahead.
That's why I just keep my relationship with God. I'm good with that. I don't really need to. If I want to go to a church, I'll go to a church. If I don't, I don't. I don't really care either way. I'm fine with God, and that's good with me. It gives me peace, and that's how it is.
And but honestly, I think that to me is the narrow road. Is
to
choose that way. I don't think many are choosing that way.
Right. I agree with you. That's why people are starting to meet in houses and stuff and just be friends, because it's safer than getting in these organized religions.
Well, you know what always scared me about organized religion? If you join a church and some idiot at the church goes and does something really stupid and gets on the news, they're going to paint everybody in that church or religion with that same brush. And I don't want to be part of it.
Yes,
I don't want to be responsible for what other people do. So I want to be responsible for me and only me. And I know that's self-centered, but I don't care.
Self-preservation. It's self-preservation. That's the narcissism that's in us that's healthy. Is we don't want to get caught up and labeled with a group of people and then persecuted for just being associated with them. Guilty by association. That's not always a fair way to be persecuted.
That's the truth. And I've seen it happen a lot of times, and I just think, oh, geez.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a joiner. I've never been a joiner. So when you said you want to join us, I thought, wait a minute, is this like a club? I don't join.
Oh, no. I don't either. I don't become members of churches because every time I do, something goes awry and I end up renouncing it and quitting every time. And I just won't do it. We tried to become a member of a church not all that long ago. I came on. I was all excited about it. And within about 4 weeks of attending there, My husband and I looked at each other and we're like, nope, this isn't the place. I said, I told you I didn't want to be a member. Well, we didn't actually go through membership classes because apparently you couldn't sing in the choir unless you did their little membership classes. I was like, I'm a talented person. I want to get up there and give my gift that God gave me. Why should I have to sign on the dotted line and go through a whole bunch of stuff I probably could teach myself? Why? So we left.
Oh yeah, and give them 10% of your income for being there. Forget it.
Or if you're a Jehovah's Witness, they tell you that they don't pass the basket around, but they like kind of slip in about all the money that's needed, casually through announcements so that you feel guilty and you're going to make sure you donate on your way out.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what really soured me on Jehovah's Witnesses? There were a few people there that were on food stamps, families that were members. And here's the husband shoving a $20 bill in that box by the door. And he needed that for his family.
Oh, right.
Now, the church should have been helping him, because that's what they did for hundreds.
No, they don't help people. They encourage them to not work, not go to college, not work. Most of their time is supposed to be in field service.
Yeah, but what kind of a religion would take $20 from that man who has to go to the federal government and beg for food stamps? That's what they expect them to do. See, that's sickening to me. That's not
what they want them to do.
That's such bull.
But it serves their purpose. They have free labor.
Oh my, yeah, that's what they definitely do have. Back when I was really researching the Jehovah's Witnesses in the late 70s, I found a picture of a man who lived in a penthouse in New York, who had his own big, huge, white, brand new, shiny limousine and his chauffeur. And that was the head of the Watchtower Society. And I found it on microfiche in a library. And I sent it to my ex-husband. And I says, this is who you're working for free for and buying those magazines you leave at people's doors. Because he was paying for those.
Yeah.
And I thought, what kind of a religion takes money from people who can't afford it? I don't get it.
Because it's not about religion. They have to recruit people because it's not really a religion. The people just think it is.
Right. So when they took his money,
they're running a real estate conglomerate. It is a corporation, and then the next layer back was a book publishing company.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
but we gotta get back on track here, Meadows. We're like way off track.
Yeah, but didn't you notice about that religion how they just destroyed your whole ability to believe in religion of any kind?
No, they didn't destroy my faith. No, they didn't.
Not my faith.
It was my faith that made me realize I was not where I was supposed to be. I realized that they were literally turning man into God before my very eyes and expecting us to worship men.
Yeah, and a few other things.
And my faith actually grew stronger because I had God with me the whole time. I did not need a religion to serve God. In fact, the religions were like I said, the way they were organizing it, people were looking to men as if men were God.
Right.
Wait till you experience what I call church. If you have the same experience, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm not kidding you. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, I know what you're talking about, and I consider nature to be God's canvas, and I consider everywhere I look to be evidence of God.
That's exactly right.
And that's exactly where my quote unquote church comes from. And that's how I left Jehovah's Witnesses. I went for walks in nature and I had conversations with God. And it was the best and most uplifting time I ever had in life. It was the most stable that I ever felt. Where when I was going to church, I felt beaten down and like the life had been sucked out of me.
Yep.
That's when I discovered God was not there. God was with me in the woods. God was with me wherever I would call out to him.
Well, he's also in your spirit.
I gave Lisa a book that I've been badgering her to death to read it. And she's
Yes,
really
but
resisting. She's very much resisting.
What is it? A Course in Miracles or something like that?
No, it's
well, it's
called
definitely not something you want to discuss in this room.
Oh, well, you can tell me the name of it anyway.
it's called Journey of Souls by a doctor. Oh, now I can't think of the name. But he's a psychiatrist who dealt with nothing but people who had been not just clinically dead, but literally dead, and came back to life a half hour longer afterwards. And what he would do is, for 40 years, these people had a hard time with life, and after they experienced that. And what he would do is he would hypnotize them to find out where they went. And he found if he kept them under for 2 hours, they all did the same thing, and they all went back to the same place in their memory, and they all described the same thing. And what it did was it showed them how everything works. And so when you read the book, which I did in one night, and I couldn't believe I did that, it took away all my PTSD. It showed me that I had control over myself, because that's what God gave me. I'm in control of my life. Nobody else is, unless you allow it. And I've got more religion in my mind, how I look at the world and the universe, or whatever you want to call it. Since I read that book, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And at the time that book was given to me, I had been recently injured, and I couldn't feel anything from my earlobes down. And I had hardly any control over anything of my body. And some days I could walk, and other days I couldn't. And some days I was just, I was fighting to breathe and stay conscious.
Wow.
And a friend came knocking on the door and said, I don't know why, and I hadn't seen him in 2 years. He said, I was thinking of you today, and I thought, this is perfect for you. And he gave it to me, and I hollered at him, and I said, I'm sitting here gagging my brains out. And I said, do you want me to read a book? And he goes, Deb, just do the best you can. So he says, I think this might really help you right now. And it was the weirdest encounter. So after he left, I propped the book up on the pillow next to me, and I started reading the beginning, and it didn't make much sense. So I flipped over into what are called case histories, and I start reading those all the way to the end. It really interested me now. And then I went back to the beginning and read it all the way through. And the next day, I called a friend. I got out of that bed for the first time in like a month. And I went and I collected my MRIs. I went to a different doctor, and I started getting better.
Wow.
Because I was dying, and I knew it.
Right.
And I credit that book. And it's like it opened my eyes. And within 9 months, I was healthy. I could walk pretty steady. I still tripped and fell a lot. But I managed to pack my car, and I went to Arizona, and I gave myself 3 months to get strong again. I joined a hiking group, and they knew my disability, and they said, don't worry about it. And before you know it, I was so darn strong, I couldn't believe it, and I went back to work for 2 years.
Wow.
Yes, and I credit that book for it, and I gave it to Lisa, and I said, you need to read this, because you sound like me before I read it. So, and I was hoping it would do the same for her. But I bought maybe 40 copies of that in the last 20 years, and I've given them all away. You got my last one, Lisa.
I know.
And everybody who's read it, they go, oh my God, oh my God. And it really straightens out a lot of stuff with yourself, and it's the weirdest thing. But yeah.
I will look into it and see what you're talking about.
Oh, by Newton, Newton, Journey of Souls by Newton, yes.
Okay, I think I've heard of it, actually. So,
I couldn't believe it when I read it, because I never believed in some of those different theories and stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like the woo kind of stuff. I don't do that. But when I read that, I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. You got to realize, what we're taught in school and in religion is nothing compared to what's out there, what's really out there. And like, I used to date this guy who was a physicist, and they think and see different than we do. And I understood it to a certain point. And he says, not too many women understand me. And I said, well, I kind of get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. They think in different terms than the average person, and they're like autists, not autistic, but autists. But they have no brain damage. They were born that way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, stop it.
No, see, what happens with an autist is one side of their brain is damaged, so the other side is overworked, and they become really crazy good at something. And with a physicist that doesn't have brain damage, it means their whole brain's working, but one side is just taken off over the other side.
Sounds like autistic.
Yeah.
My husband's high functioning autistic. He's like that.
Yeah, what's he good at?
Math.
Dude, most of them are.
He's amazing at math. I could just say, well, what is this minus this? And he'll be like, give me a second. It's this. I'll be like, man, how do you do that? I could have used you in math class years ago, Matthew.
Yeah,
Ask him if he sees calculations in things.
I will when he gets home.
Okay.
He'll be home around 9. We need to get back to our topic,
yeah,
though, Meadows.
we do. We need to get
enjoyed
back
hearing
to
what you were
topic
sharing,
is.
though. All right. So I'm going to have you head off for a moment so we can get back to our topic. All right. Okay, so I sent you the notes, One Love, on the somatic
Yes.
narcissist. So we'll start there and we'll
Yes.
go on with the other ones.
All right. And let me get my light on because now it got dark in here. And I got my notes. Okay. All right. So the most common that we've experienced is the covert, which I think is how most things are done because, well, that's the easiest way to get away with stuff and also to make anyone that would not agree with you or question you look nuts, and then they'll lose credibility. But the somatic one is really super duper like popular until, like I said, until they lose their looks.
Yeah.
But then you have the cerebral that you talked about, and you talked about the there was the overt.
Mm-hmm.
Now that one I haven't experienced too much. How about you?
Yes, in pastors.
Oh, well, really?
Oh gosh, yes.
That nuts to your face?
Oh yeah.
Like, not even. See, I always thought they have to like come off as being like the squeaky clean.
No.
So that people look up to them.
I can tell you 2 incidences. One, I was at an Assemblies of God church, and the pastor, I had invited my friend to come. She finally agreed to come. It was at a Bible study on a Wednesday night. And I went up for prayer, and he acted like he was going to pray over me, and he goes, listen, Laura, I need to talk to you about something. I know that you have been trying to come between me and my wife. I know that you've been saying things behind my back, and you've been complaining about your mother-in-law ever since you've been here. And that's all you do is say bad things about people. And I'm telling you, if you're not happy here, I'm asking you to leave right now. You either need to leave of your own accord, or eventually I will have to have you leave. And my friend, I'll never forget it, Colleen, she stood up and she's like, how dare you talk to my friend that way? You call yourself a minister? Who the heck do you think you are? She never did anything to you. And she just went off on him. She was cussing. She was mad. She was a new Christian too. She's like, you're the reason why I don't want nothing to do with Christianity. Laura came and told me about Jesus and his love, and I don't see any love coming from me. Well, this was a girl that, she was a stranger, and I gave her towels and I gave her clothes for her kids and stuff because she had nothing. She was living with her boyfriend in the apartment below us, and I basically prayed for her to accept Jesus. And she was just like, because of her, I'm a Christian, and I can't believe you'd ever yell at my friend that way in front of this whole room full of people, the whole church. Oh my gosh, it was funny as heck. And then the other one was when we were in a big prayer circle at this other church, a Word of Faith church, which is closer to kind of what I believe anyways. But this pastor was like having us all stand in a circle holding hands and praying. And we're like, oh, in Jesus' name, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and Laura, I heard that you were on the phone with this person last night talking about things, and you don't need to be talking about things. God is not happy with you right now. And he's like lambasting me in the middle of the prayer session, the prayer circle. Do you understand me? I just said, yes, sir. And I looked him bull-faced in the eye. I'm like, yes, sir. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm standing up on the outside, but inside I just want to. Yeah, I was just furious. Who are you? He's talking to me like that in front of all my friends. But yeah, he was very overtly, definitely very overt.
Well, maybe he had gotten through the love bombing stage with, the people that were there. Once you're done with that, and you kind of, jerk them back and forth.
Oh, girl,
cycles.
He skipped over the love bombing stage with me. Okay, he skipped over it. He gave the love bombing to my children. And used that, and not so much him, but other people in the church, kind of along with him, would give my children the position that I wanted. Like, my daughter plays keyboard like me. And the worship team knew I wanted to be on the worship team. Now, I'm the adult here, the mother of these children, okay? Next thing I know, my daughter's chosen to be playing keyboard on the worship team. So guess what that created between us at home? Jealousy.
Rift.
Yeah, big time rift.
And you feel that he was deliberately doing this because, like, he knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they didn't like me much. Churches don't like me. I'm like the boat rocker. They can't stand me coming because I will call them on their stuff. I will pull out the Bible and quote it to them.
Yeah, that's the problem.
They hate that.
That's the problem. That's because they're supposed to be the ones that are in charge.
Exactly.
And they forget that it's not about you're in charge. You're supposed to be the shepherd. You're not supposed to be God.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And a shepherd is humble. A shepherd is like Jesus was.
I have confronted many a narcissistic minister in my lifetime. Many of them.
So you're stating with the overt that they have that rage. And they don't think that there's anything wrong with them.
Nope.
And that they scream and yell and they leave you feeling, I don't know, this was kind of the words I put down, dumbfounded, because, well, they get you to question your own self. If you don't have a strong enough sense of self, it could really hurt you.
Well, the sad thing is he created a monster because he actually did teach me a lot of really good principles that even to this day I live by. But the problem was he created a monster because he created somebody that could stand up to him. And I used his own words to stand up to him. Well, you told us this or that or whatever. And he's just like, whoa, okay.
Well, you're not getting any privileges then, Dee Dee.
I know, right?
No privileges. You're not singing and you're not playing.
No, I'll tell you another one. This will be my last story and then I'll let you talk a while. But another church I went to, the pastor got me all excited. I was going to help lead the children's ministry. And he's like, oh, I'm going to get all the supplies you need. Just tell me what you need. And I'm like, well, let me figure out what'll be best for the kids. So the one day I go in there, I'm doing the children's Sunday school class. And I'm like, hey, guys, what do you guys want to learn? What would be fun for you? Puppets and games and prizes. And we're all excited. Next thing I know, he tells me on the phone, well, I'm going to announce on Sunday that you and I are leading the worship or the children's ministry and, let all the congregation know that we got it handled because the worship or the children's minister left. And I'm like, oh, that sounds good. So weeks go by, nothing happens. He doesn't say anything. I'm like, well, Pastor, I thought you were going to make the announcement. Oh, I will. I'll get to it. He never made the announcement. 1 week, he finally makes the announcement. Oh, my wife and I are going to be leading the children's ministry. Oh, I was so mad. And then I call him up and I'm like, what do you mean? I thought you said you were putting me in charge of it. You're going to buy me all this stuff. Oh, yeah. Well, I just felt that because this is my wife, it would look better if she was working with me instead of you. But you can sit under her and learn from her. Oh my God, this lady was pitifully boring. These poor kids. I used to go home crying, going, oh my gosh, I want them to learn about Jesus and the love of God, but for the love of God, I can't deal with this woman. How do they sit under her? Because I can't. I'm falling asleep. She was like one of those real old-fashioned school marms. And then Jesus took the little sheep and led them into the pasture. I'm like, oh my God, no. This is who you replace me with? I know she's your wife and all, but really, come on. I can put a little bit of life into it, please. So, yeah, no. That didn't fly. So I went away on a trip to go see my mentor, and I told him I'm resigning. He's like, well, just give it some time. I said, oh, no, I don't need any time, but I'll give you 6 months or whatever, and then I'll come back and tell you I'm resigning because I'm not sitting under your boring wife. I'm sorry. It's not happening. So, yeah. So then he announces to the whole church that I quit. Oh, Laura decided to step out of the ministry. Oh, yeah. See how they twist that? Yeah. I decided to step out of the ministry. No, you lied to everybody, said I was in charge of the ministry, then put your wife in charge, the pitiful, boring lady, and then lie to everybody the next week and tell them that I quit the ministry. That's what they do all the time. They will fire someone and let them go, and the next week announce to the congregation that the person abdicated their responsibility and left the ministry when they fired their butt. They do this all the time. I've seen it repeatedly in churches. It's insane. Oh, sorry.
It is very, very, very wrong.
It makes me so livid. Oy, oy, oy.
Yes, it is very wrong.
And
now,
they get away with
Marie
it.
was talking about how is it the overt one that she says that talks really loud over you?
Yes, overts. Yep.
Okay, but did you know what I noticed though?
Huh.
I also noticed that if you're having trouble when you're to regulate your emotions, that you can actually start doing that with the overt or the covert. But you know where you could be mistaken as being an overt, but you're not an overt. You're reacting.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like you're trying to be heard or to be understood because you're being framed by the overt and shame.
Because you try to respond to them and they don't handle response, you have to react. You feel like you're provoked to react. And then you look like the nutty one when they're the ones that provoked it.
Or they don't let you speak.
Right. Exactly. They talk
so you
over
get
you.
louder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Meadows found her own the same way we did, Dee Dee.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, I know how to preach. I can start my own church any moment. This shed was supposed to be a church. I wanted my ex-husband to put walls in here years ago because my second ex-husband and I were going to start a church right in this very shed. I never dreamed I'd be living in it, but it was supposed to be a little church because I can preach. I know the Bible. I can lead people to the Lord. I have no problem with that. I know God very well, and I can quote scripture like crazy and apply it to my life. So I don't really need a man to tell me that, which is why I find churches kind of boring, because when I was under that pastor, the one that hollered at me during the prayer thing, he was a really good minister. He really was. He taught us really well, and he made it fun. He was humorous and really interactive. He was also a drama major. The guy could act like nobody's business. He was amazing. So he had really good points, and he taught them to me. So I know how to do all that stuff. I know how to quote the Bible and do all that. I could start my own church. I don't need a man to tell me, what to do and what not to do, because I know how to do it. So I get disillusioned by churches really quickly.
And for me, I never wanted to start a church or anything like that, because I just wanted to, I guess you could say, know that I could come to God without having these men tell me what God thought of me. Do you know what I'm talking about? I wanted to have a personal relationship with God, because that was always my goal, and to learn how to ask for help. Oh, are you there, Dee Dee? Dee Dee? Dee Dee, where'd you go? Am I the only one here? I can't read the chat. Oh my goodness. Dee Dee, where are you? Dee Dee! Dee,
Oh,
don't
there
ever
we go.
do that to me again.
I didn't purposely do it.
Oh,
My
you
thing
scared
just
me.
shut down all of a sudden. You know, StreamYard is canceling on me soon. So
Okay, wait. Leave that up there a minute. I want to read that.
Okay.
What Marie just said.
okay.
Don't argue with fools because from a distance they can't tell who is who. That's true, G Marie. You're smart.
That's good. My husband's calling me. I have to take a call.
Oh, okay.
Hello. Okay. No.
We're on intermission, folks.
It doesn't really matter. I guess whatever kind. Yellow cake, white cake, doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's how you make it. Just with jello and whipped cream. It's pretty simple. Okay, I need to go and unlock the door because I locked it. Alright, I'm on live, so that's why I said I needed to unlock it. Okay. I will. Okay. Love you. Bye. Alright, he's getting the stuff for my birthday jello cake tomorrow.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's your birthday. Are we
Yes,
having a party?
Something like that.
Are you gonna make the jello cake?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am.
You know what? I bet you I could even make one and have some too.
There you go.
Boy, that would be interesting. Okay, there's a great documentary called Marjo.
Oh yeah, Marjo. Yep. My dad always talks to me about him. Child preacher.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's an actual documentary?
Yep.
I bet you I could find that on like my
You'd
Prime.
probably enjoy it because you like that old stuff, like old movies and stuff. Yeah, it's the old one.
Movies.
Old documentary.
I love the old stuff, you guys. I like everything black and white and the old actors and actresses.
No G Marie, no jello shots, although I have had those and they're pretty yummy.
We're gonna put it in the cake.
Yeah. Jello shots in the cake. No, I'm not gonna do jello shots in the cake. Just jello cake.
Just jello.
That'll make me feel high enough, trust me. I don't eat much sugar anymore, so when I get a hold of some, woo!
Me, I gotta hydrate like big time because of these stupid medications I'm on that I want to flush through my system. Even the Aleve I want to flush through my system.
Thank you, Lee. Yeah, it is on YouTube, the Marjo story.
I've never ate so many prunes in my life. But boy, they do work.
No, G Marie, I'm going to be good on my birthday. I'm not drinking.
You don't really drink, do you, Dee Dee?
If I drink, it's like literally I take a cap of the wine and I'll fill it like halfway. That's my drink.
Oh.
I don't drink like glasses of stuff. No.
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling. I don't like feeling like the walls are closing in on me and things are getting really warm and weird feeling. I hate that feeling. Ugh.
I like the taste. The thing is with wine, I like how Merlot, like different types of wine taste with cheese and steak and seafood. Like when you have it on your palate with those flavors coming together.
That's how you're supposed to eat cheese when you eat it with wine. You're supposed to hold it in your mouth and then put the wine in. It brings the flavor of the cheese out. I read something about that.
Bomb. And chocolate too. What is she talking about? Chocolate mousse cream torte loaded with marijuana butter. Okay, Meadows.
I don't think so. No. Negatory.
That's not in here.
No marijuana in here.
See, Meadows doesn't drink.
Mary Jane skipped down the lane.
She has medicinal
marijuana
for her
pain
stuff that she does. So that's where that comes in.
For her pain and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I believe in it for that. I don't have a problem with it for that. It is an herb.
She had like major surgery done when that thing dropped on her, right on her head.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was serious
Wow.
physical. We're talking spinal,
Ouch.
bad injury in the neck.
Mm,
Yep. So that's kind of made her. That's why she
sure.
has so much trouble with breathing
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah, that would be awful. Sorry that
And
happened, Meadows.
chronic
Painful.
pain. Yep.
Painful, painful. It's awful to live with chronic pain. Can't even imagine.
Yes.
Wouldn't want to.
So what she's talking about, you know, is more for medicinal.
Sure, sure. I understand. I get it. Okay,
Not
so I'm going to send
okay.
you this next one, if it'll
All
let
right.
me. Okay,
Okay.
it's not letting me send anything now. It's not letting me post stuff. It's not letting me send comments. I think it's because, here we go. It's because they're going to be closing down the StreamYard thing soon. They gave me a message tonight, unless I upgrade it and pay
Oh,
for
here
it.
we are. There we go. I didn't see this before.
What?
Well, what you've been sending me?
Oh, I thought you knew where it was because you said hi to me originally.
No, I'm talking about what you were sending me in the chat through here.
Yeah, I thought you knew that was there.
No, I'm slow.
No, well, you said hi to me in the same screen is what I'm saying
I
earlier.
did, but I didn't know you were sending more.
Oh, well, I just sent it now.
Oh, you just did it now. Okay, then I'm not totally like a crazy person.
Well, the somatic one I sent before, but this part I'm sending now.
Okay,
because we already did enough on the somatic. I think they get the picture. It's a showy, show-offy, diva, whatever, narcissistic, butthead, office person.
Okay. All right. We got that.
And that got cut off partway too.
Are you talking about the art? Okay, the art exhibit part got cut off from the somatic.
Did it?
Yeah, that actually came in a separate message here.
Oh, yeah, that did too, yeah. Okay, but I think I got all of that then.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm trying to give you the rest of the other one.
The cerebral?
Yeah, the cerebral.
Know-it-all, acts like a robot.
Mm-hmm.
In order to get people to hook up with him or her.
Yep.
Has very little desire to connect intimately with their partner. You know what? That gives them a lot of control, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because, you know, we like to connect because we have that, you know, that, well, that's generally how humans like to interact with one another.
Of course.
We got that intimacy of that bonding. So they don't need to bond.
Right. They don't look for bonding. They're not in it for that.
Do you think they were born like that, or do you think that there was something that happened that interrupted with the bonding state between the age of 1 and 5?
Well, I think there's always something that interrupts the growth, and that's why you see narcissistic behaviors is they're stunted at a certain age. What you're seeing is temper tantrums of like a 6 or 7-year-old usually with a narcissist. There's actually a narcissistic what do you call it? An article called We Are 7. It's on the internet. And it talks about comparisons between the narcissist and a 7-year-old. Mm-hmm.
We Are 7. I like that title. Ooh, let me write that down.
I'll have to get it for you.
Yeah. Telling you, you know, are you like me where you got tons of notes like
oh gosh, girl.
All this stuff you want to read?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and you don't have enough time to read everything.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Okay, so this type can be famous or wealthy and also very charming. Up close and personal with them. Oh, well, yeah, I did recognize with the cerebral in my life that he was very self-absorbed and didn't care to talk much.
Yep.
And he actually found people to be like kind of like a nuisance in life.
Right. I know how that is. My ex-husband used to say, I don't want friends. They take too much time and energy.
There you go. You just said it perfectly.
Mm-hmm. And in a way, he's kind of right sometimes.
Well, yeah, but you can't like...
Especially if they're narcissistic ones.
Yes. Wait.
Ugh.
Okay. Now, oh yes, they can shine as professionals and be very successful. Oh, and they're also good. You know how also they're really good at like charming people, and is that they're very good at actually not reacting.
Right.
So they always look like they're very level-headed and very sane.
Mm-hmm.
So like the partner would actually look nuts.
Right. Exactly.
Or the friend, because they'd be so frustrated because you can't have the connection.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. High functioning, good citizens.
Oh yeah, because everybody admires them because they're so amazing, and everybody wants to be like them, and you know.
And yeah, they'd be perfect in business. Like I said, they've got that perfect ability. They don't have that reactive chip in them. They are very in control, it seems.
Yeah, and they don't get caught up in the emotions of stuff, so they're very business minded and very cerebral, like they're called. They're very cerebral.
And you know what? They actually think that people like, well, I can only speak for myself, Dee Dee, but I remember being told, you wear your emotions on your sleeve. And it was said in such a way like, you are so weak. You're so weak.
Well, they do see it as a weakness. Yeah, they do.
And it's like, okay, I'm so weak, but you're so weak that you have to jump into your head and not face the real world.
Right, and not allow yourself to feel. I'll be right back. I gotta
open
the door. He can't unlock it himself.
Ah, that's so true. These people, they think you have it coming.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And the cerebral in my life did do the discard in a very abrupt and cruel way in which I was left in shock. You know, like it was like, oh my God. It was almost like being dropped in the middle of nowhere, the way it happened.
Yep. Have you ever heard the song He Had It Coming from Chicago? The
how does the melody go?
I don't remember exactly. It's called the Cell Block Tango. He had it coming. And I can't play it, otherwise I'll get striked or whatever, but I can actually tell you some of the lyrics. And it's very narcissistic, almost psychopathic, actually. The lady sings it about killing her husband, basically. He had it coming, he had it coming, he only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same.
Oh my.
Like I come home this one day and there's Ernie laying on the couch chewing, no, not chewing, popping. So I said to him, I said, Ernie, you pop that gum one more time. And he did. So I took the shotgun off the wall and I fired 2 warning shots into his head. He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. And that's how the whole thing is all about how this guy abused. He didn't abuse her. He did stuff that annoyed her. Like here. He ran into my knife 10 times, and they laugh about it on the whole Chicago
I'm sorry,
thing.
but that I don't even mean to laugh about it, but I mean that's just almost atrocious to say.
Yeah, it's an uncomfortable laugh. I know what you're saying. Oh my God, it's like the audacity of it. It's terrible. But that's how narcissists think too. Not about obviously killing people, although maybe some of them do if they're psychopathic.
Yeah, they got to have psychopath.
But they feel like we make them do what they do to us. They literally feel that way. They think that we provoke it somehow, and we had it coming. That's why they do to us what they do. See, I told you to shut up, and you didn't shut up. That's why I smacked you. You know, it's like, if only you had learned. When are you going to learn if I tell you to do something to do it, type of thing.
Bond to them. What did she say? That narcs want you to bond to them, but they cannot bond to you. That's true. They need us to need them.
Well, they want you to bond for a different reason, though. If you are an empath or even just a decent person, you want to bond with somebody because you want relationship. You want to relate to them. They don't want that. They don't want intimacy or connection. They could care less about it. They want you
that's
to
what I'm
adore
so
them.
confused about, Dee Dee. It's like, what is it to them? What is it to them that they need you to bond to them? Is it just to make them feel like there's something or someone that you need them?
It's a pride thing, I think, with them. Remember, deep down inside, a lot of these people that are narcissists don't really believe in themselves. So by you attaching to them, that kind of makes them feel for the moment that there's somebody special. Like, oh, she admires me, she adores me, blah, blah, blah. I'm really something. But deep down inside, they know they're not. But they've buried it so far down that they don't even allow themselves to see their true self to deal with it. That's how you heal from narcissism, is you finally take an honest look, an objective look at what happened to you, why you no longer have a true self. Because you stuffed that down because mom didn't let you be yourself. Dad didn't let you have a mistake. You had to always shine and make the family look good and all that. Now you're an adult and you think everybody else around you has to do the same thing, but now you don't, because now you get to play the controller. That's what Dawn did to me. She turned me into a little miniature Dawn and became her abusive parent and punished me while I was with her for 6 weeks. I became little mini Dawn. Yeah.
Who's HG Tudor? I've heard of that.
Oh,
name.
wow. He's amazing and scary all at the same time.
Oh, is he the narcissistic YouTuber?
He's the narcissist. There's another one, Sam Vaknin. He's the first one.
Okay, Sam, I've watched, and it's hard for me to listen to him because he talks like a robot.
Well, yeah, he's definitely a cerebral narcissist.
Now, I think the other guy,
HG
Tudor, I think he's a somatic, right?
Yep.
I definitely would not want to be dating that man.
Well, I don't know. Is he somatic? HG Tudor?
If I'm thinking of the right guy, there was like a documentary done on him. And he was super full of himself.
Well, HG Tudor has a very deep voice, the one I'm thinking of, and his videos are all very dark-like.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I think the one you're talking. Okay, I think
I know who you're talking about too, because I saw the interview, and yes, he was very full of himself. He was an overt narcissist for sure. That guy, HG Tudor, I think is a cerebral narcissist. From what I can tell.
Of course, we can overthink things, Meadows. Oh my gosh, You know how I got to be an overthinker? From living with a malignant narcissist. Because I had to constantly try to think about what was really going down. And I was just a little kid.
Only time I overthink things is when I have to.
And sometimes you do have to overthink until it makes sense to you. I mean, eventually you got to walk away from it. Eventually I just got to yell out to God and say, okay, I just really can't figure this out. So I'm just going to give this to you. If I'm overthinking something way beyond, But yeah, I think I became an overthinker. Part of it is because I do think a lot and my mind works a little differently, but also part of it also was because I had to constantly try to figure out what was happening when I was little and growing up.
Well, and some of it is our personality. Like, I'm a choleric, so I think and then I act. Some people just keep thinking. They ruminate on it like a cow chewing the cud. Those are melancholies that usually do that. They got to get every detail and figure everything out. And then there's phlegmatics.
Then I would be more melancholy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. That's why we click, because I'm a choleric.
Okay.
And I think Meadows may be a choleric too. She's like, oh, just move on. Let's talk about something new. You guys just talk about the same subject. I can just almost hear the wheels turning. Am I right, Meadows? Did I analyze you right, or am I overthinking this?
No, I think she's laughing right now.
I think I'm overthinking. Choleric, not cleric.
Yeah.
No. Choleric. Oh my goodness, that's funny.
I'm definitely melancholy. All right. Yes. All right.
Most of my friends are. Because I could not get along with another choleric. They're too bossy like me. So that wouldn't work.
You and Meadows would be like in a ring.
Oh, yeah. Meadows and I. If we disagreed on something, that would be bad. It would be going down. It's like Carly and I. Carly's a choleric too. Very set in her ways, and this is the way it is, and don't tell me otherwise. Yep, that's a choleric.
And then me, I'm just sitting over there still trying to figure out what we were talking about 10 minutes ago and all the different ways we could think about it.
Yeah, that's a melancholy. Yep, you're still chewing the cud. Yep. Okay, so choleric is like very headstrong, business-like, goal-focused, more than people-focused usually. Yeah, you research it. So you're part melancholy too. Melancholies are the ones that got to know why. I'm also melancholy, but I'm largely choleric because once I think it and research it, then I'm on it. I don't waste time puttering around. Then I got to make a video. Got to tell everybody.
Yeah.
Teach everybody. Yeah, but melancholies can think about it forever and never do anything with it. Just toss it around. Maybe it's that way, you know.
I could, but then there's moments of inspiration, Dee Dee.
Yeah.
And that's when it really, really flourishes within me. But like right now, I'm not feeling my creative juices, probably because I'm having to take my medications, you know?
Right.
Which is a real big bummer.
Yeah, detail oriented. That's true, Jean Marie. And then there's phlegmatics who just really want peace. They don't care either way. It's like, okay, whatever you think. All right.
Oh, no, I can't do
what do you think about that? And they just want to listen to you. And they're great too. It's not that one's better than the other. We all need all of it.
Yeah,
and we
all need the balance of it.
But like me, I don't have much phlegmatic in me at all. I'm a go, 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 do it, get it done, whatever. I never was like that, really. And then there's also the sanguine who is like the party animal. Funny. Just upbeat and fun. Like Aaron, I think, might be a sanguine.
Wait, every time I ever got into trouble, it was because I didn't know something because I like being right. Well, yeah, and me, I don't know. I can't explain it. I've got my side that can be very direct and to the point, but I really try to keep the peace for the most part. And I try to look at things from many different angles.
Yeah.
But I do that. I do have some of the choleric in me as well. It's just not as dominant as the melancholy. You know, I do want to take my little personality thing again so I can see how I can't remember what my letters are. But I know I've changed over the years because I used to be I think I was more choleric than I was melancholy in my 20s and early 30s when I was in the business world. Because I had to be very, much a bulldozer. Come on, move goals and, meeting deadlines.
Here's what, if they could speak, this is what they would say, the personalities.
Okay.
Do it the right way.
Okay. Do it the fun way.
Whoops, where'd my last one go? Oh.
Just do it already. I can hear Meadows say that too.
Me too. Yeah. No, I haven't, Jean Marie. I've heard of it, but I never saw it.
And then we're wanting to do it what'd you say, melancholy? So we want to do it the right way.
Yeah, well, they want to know why they got to do it first.
Yeah, definitely. We're not just.
And you better prove to them why they have to do it that way too. And you better have every detail figured out. You better have the answers ready too, because they're not going to do it unless you can prove to them that there's something that's smart about what you're doing. Because they're very careful people. They are very, very careful people, melancholies. I know my mentor, a different mentor, is melancholy. Oh my God. She will not do anything unless you've got all the details figured out. You can prove to her it's going to work. No. She's a phlegmatic melancholy. That's a tough mix. Ay, ay, ay.
She goes, hey, I know I messed up. I just don't want to broadcast it.
Meadows, you're funny. Oh, boy. That's funny. The reason I know about this stuff, and I really believe in it because I think there's something to it, is because when I was in MLMs, I actually made a video about it. It's on my channel, but I did it with colors, blue, red, yellow, and green. So I talked about it. I'll have to send you the link so you can watch it because you probably missed it along the way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I actually did the whole analysis about what each thing means, how they operate, and who to put in what place in business. That pastor I told you about that embarrassed me in the prayer line, the prayer circle, he was the one that taught about it. And that's one thing he did right in the church, was he put you in whatever position you were strongest in. So if he found out you were real laid back, like his wife was a phlegmatic all the way, he would have her sit and just be the counselor to everybody in the church, because she'd just sit and listen to you go on and on and on. She'd just be, oh, wow, that's interesting. Uh-huh, uh-huh. And then he'd put the cholerics in charge of bossing around the melancholies. Mm-hmm. That's what he did. And he was a choleric, obviously, which is why him and I butted heads.
And you would have to boss them around because they'd be they'd be questioning you the whole time.
Yes, and they did. And then guess where he put the sanguine, the upbeat joker, fun people? Guess where they were in the church? Smart guy, really. They were the greeters. Greeters at the door.
The greeters.
The greeters. He knew what he was doing. We had a really good church. It was sad when it closed down, but yeah, it was really sad when it closed down because it operated like a fine machine. And that's honestly what bosses should do too. Put the right people together with the right people.
Yeah, now how come they can't figure that out?
I don't know. Because it's all about money, money, money.
Yeah, but they would actually make more money if they would actually take all of our gifts and put them where they need to be.
You would think.
Oh, well, nobody makes good money on multi-level marketing.
Well, the higher ups do. The ones that got in on the ground floor are making all the money. They're making our money.
The housing bubble.
Yeah.
Just like the housing bubble scam.
Mm-hmm. She's definitely a choleric. My daughter Carol, you've probably seen her once in a while on my live. She's a choleric. She's also phlegmatic, though. She has that side of her that just does not want to be bothered by stuff.
Yes.
You only make money in the top few tiers. Yes, right.
And you know what? The multi-level marketing is just more in your face. We're going to scam you. But believe you me, the corporate world has been robbing us blind for a long time. And they have different laws than we do because they don't get prosecuted like you and I would if we were to outright steal from people. You know?
Huh. Have you heard of what's her name? PTE? Something PTE? She's talking about Mommy Dearest right now. That's so weird. I wonder if she copied my room.
Who's PTE?
PTE is a PTE Hangout is the name of a room. And it says permission to exist. That's what it stands for. Permission to exist.
Oh no, she's got an excellent channel.
Well, she's on right now. She's got like 80 something in her channel.
Yeah, she wouldn't copy us. Are you kidding?
No, I was just playing because we were talking about Mommy Dearest. That's why I said that. It's just weird. I'm like, oh my, she's talking about it.
You know why I like to listen to her? Not only because I like how she expresses, explains things, but I love how she speaks. Do you ever just find people you love their voice?
Sure, of course.
Like, if only I could sound that crisp and wonderful. Instead, I got this crazy, screechy, annoying, naggy kind of a voice.
No, you just have an accent. You can't help it.
I didn't even know I had one.
Well, you don't hear yourself. I wouldn't think. Well, the reason I know you have an accent is there was a little cartoon character. What was it on? Was it Doug? She used to say, "Don't you know?" all the time.
Oh.
Who was that? Oh my gosh. Oh, I know who it was. You know who Howie Mandel is, right?
Oh, I know that name.
Little Bobby?
Little who?
Little Bobby. Have you ever seen Little Bobby?
No.
No, you're from my era. You never saw little Bobby.
Well, you got it. Was it a TV show? Because I was like, my stepfather hardly ever let me watch TV.
Oh,
I had
okay.
to pick my 1 hour, and that was Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, yeah.
That was what I chose.
You take that
Laura.
back now, Leosin.
I chose my Little House on the Prairie. So when I had to go out in the yard and pick up all the apples from our apple trees, I could pretend I was out on Little House on the Prairie picking up the apples.
Oh, wow.
Putting them in my little tin bucket.
Yep, we did live in fantasy, didn't we, to survive?
Yes, we did. I know I did all the time. I was always going off pretending I was Little House on the Prairie and I was little Laura and I had a nice mom and dad.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And honestly, I love my mom so much. I adore my mother, and I really feel like when my stepfather came into the picture when I was 7, that oh man, it was just horrible.
Really, you were 7? So was I when my stepfather came into the picture.
Really? Oh
wow, we got something in common there, girl.
Yeah. It's like then my whole world just crashed around me and things were so bad from that time forward.
Jeez.
It's a nightmare.
I know what you're saying. My stepdad was paranoid schizophrenic and bipolar and OCD and OCPD, and nobody knew what that was back then until years later after all the damage was done to myself and my brother and sister, and it was terrible.
And I really don't see with my stepdad, he was never diagnosed with anything because he could come off so perfect to everybody in the world.
Right.
But nobody really knew what was going on behind closed doors, you know?
No, they never do, and they don't believe it when you tell them either. You're just a kid. Why would they believe you?
And not only that, I always felt I had to protect my family and not say a word anyways, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I was also very, very respectful of my family, and my mom said I was the most respectful of all the kids, you know?
Yeah.
But I definitely was the one that was the scapegoat.
Well, were you the oldest or no?
I was the oldest.
Yeah, me too. I was oldest in my family.
Yep.
And I was the scapegoat too.
Yeah, and it was no fun.
I was always supposed to know better because I was the oldest.
We were the guinea pigs.
Mm-hmm.
And then G. Marie had our stepfather at the age of 11.
Yep.
I remember telling myself that I was never going to let any man ever come before my children. And I have maintained that. First of all, I was supposed to stay married forever. But
right.
I kind of got part of that right.
I know. I understand that.
I stayed married as long as I could. And I just know that I've never let any man come before the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. And no man would ever touch my children ever.
Okay, now the heels are on. The gloves come off. For love and misery, hon. I just don't have time for these jolly false alarms. Oh, that does it there now. There's been a lot of interest in what I read lately. I don't think this is such a tempting idea. Was this your average hockey mom? Oh, I suppose you're right. Where do they go? You know what? In response to
okay, that's because I got that Uber Finlander accent happening to me, Dee Dee.
Oh, what?
It's a Finlander accent.
Oh, is that what that is?
It's like Canadian, and it's not even my fault. It just is happening.
My Bobby little fuzz, you know, must be proud of pants there, then you go for screaming in the sunshine. Don't you dare miss a minute of Bobby.
That's who I think of every time you talk. But I loved Bobby's World, so that's okay.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I don't know
how can you even take me seriously? You can't.
Because you're
Meadows.
interesting. Yeah, she always said, "Oh, Bobby, you need to get ready for school, don't you know?" She always said. Everything was, "Don't you know? Don't you know?"
Or I don't know about that.
You can't help how you talk. It's not like we picked to talk like
This is me picking up the Canadian accent because I'm from Wisconsin. I'm not supposed to sound like that.
Oh, well. I don't really like my voice, how I sound either when I listen to it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I sound like a guy. Such a deep voice. Totally deep voice. Crazy.
Oh, well.
Anyhow. So let's see. Did we cover all of them yet, or are we still stuck on one?
No, I think we went through them all over: covert, somatic, and cerebral.
Okay. Well,
But
if we did,
cerebral to me is the one that's got a lot of power.
yes, they do, because they're very crafty and smart.
And they're chess players. They can totally outmaneuver you.
Aw, thanks, Petunia.
And if they want to smear you, they can smear you really good. They can take you down because they are so good at being calm and collected.
The scary thing is when you meet one that's like a literal genius and they're a narcissist, because they'll twist your head in so many different directions with what they say. You can't even figure out what they're talking about. Seriously.
And imagine if you add psychopathy to it.
Uh-huh. Yikes. No psychopathy for me, thank you.
No. You know, and that's why I'm kind of happy that most cases are not like that.
Why do you have a crush on Sam Vaknin? He's married, G. Marie.
No, wait. He's the guy that's the narcissist, right?
Yeah, he's from Israel.
I don't know. There's something about his voice.
You
sound like a Uber Meadows.
Sam Vaknin. Sam is the one that says, "My name is Sam Vaknin. I am the leader of Narcissism Revisited."
And I can't listen to him because he sounds like a robot.
Yeah, he's from Israel. He's from Israel. He was horridly abused. Horridly. That guy had the worst childhood in the world.
How did you hear about his childhood? Is there a book?
There's a video out about it.
Well, that's another one I need to look up.
Yep, Sam Vaknin. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. He kept getting in all kinds of trouble as a kid and then as an adult, and he finally got diagnosed by doctors out in Israel, and then I guess he came here and got diagnosed too. I'm not really sure, but he's definitely a narcissist. He's one I was going to do a video with, a collab with, and at the last minute, the idiot backed out on me because I refused to pay to have him come on my show. I said, why should I pay? I can just have you like on the phone, or we could do it like on a private chat and then just upload it. No, all you want to do is just go around things the easy way. All you want to do is get money for yourself. I'm like, you know what? You are a narcissist, and I don't want you on my dang show.
You're killing me.
Oh, man. People were like, I thought you were having Sam on. Remember, G. Marie? Remember I was going to have him on the show, and he backed out at the last minute and turned everything on me? Oh, I
can't believe we were going to have him on. Was that when he was as big as he is now?
Oh, gosh, yes. Well, see, let me put it to you this way. And people think I'm just trying to float my own boat and toot my horn. I was one of the first forerunners of this whole narcissism discussion way back when in 2008. Nobody had hardly even heard of narcissism or anything about this. Sam had his book online on a website. That's all there was about narcissism, other than him and me and a channel on borderline personality disorder. It was very rare to even hear about narcissism. Over the years is when people started coming up with, oh, I should tell my story. Then you saw the life coaches coming on, and now the therapists are on talking about it. None of that stuff was here. It was just Sam and me talking about narcissism. We were the forerunners of it. And Sam's stuff was the way I got started.
I went online back then, Dee Dee, you were the first one I saw in there.
When was that?
Was way back. It was back in probably anywhere from 2009, 2011 through 13.
Wow, really?
I mean, I don't know when you first started, but I know that I was online doing all kinds of research back in 2009. And I know between then and 2013, I was looking into narcissism and, those concepts. And I know that I did find you on there way back then when you just did videos.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't have any kind of lives.
Right. They didn't. I didn't do lives. My life was a lot happier before I went live.
Yeah, you were like very, very regimented and very professional in your deliveries. And
even though my house was a pigsty. People loved it. They're like, you're down to earth. You don't sit at a desk with a 3-piece suit on and your awards hanging on the wall. We love it. You're like one of us. They could relate. My mom would blast me behind the scenes. You need to watch how you portray yourself. You're trying to get a job. Any employer sees you like that, you're not going to get hired. But Mom, I get these emails coming in saying, thank you. You saved my life. Thank you for coming on. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But if you do, that's good. But you need to clean up your background and make sure there's a clean background behind you. And put up some awards on your wall. And make sure you look professional. Never going to happen, Mom. That's not me. Sorry. No, people loved it because I wasn't like that. They kept telling me, no, we don't want you to be that way. We can relate to you because you're not like a professional looking, suit sitting there. So
I guess you were solid enough within yourself where you didn't change yourself for it.
No, I've been Delusion Dispeller since 2008, and I probably will die Delusion Dispeller. I don't think I will ever change my name. I've never had an inkling to even do that. I used to do that on Pale Talk all the time.
I never even heard of Pal Talk.
It's just like here, all the drama, and people don't like this person because they go in their room and you red dotted them. Why did you red dot them and not them? And why'd you let them be a moderator? We call them admins. Why are they an admin and I'm not? And yeah, it's more of the same baloney. Different names, different faces. Like I said, same thing. I hooked up with narcs back then and borderlines back then, and it was a mess.
Dispella,
yeah. Yeah, and then I had somebody that designed my pictures for some of my videos on my covers, and she hates me now. She was somebody that she was one of my clients, and she despises me and threatened to ruin me if I ever mentioned her. I won't mention her name, but oh yeah, hates me. Well, lots of stuff happened when she came to visit my house. My ex-husband was messed up, and he did stuff that was not good. And she remembers it, and she's like, you didn't do anything about it. You weren't paying attention. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Half the time I didn't even know what he was doing. When he got in trouble and went to jail, I didn't even know what he was doing. Everything happened covertly. But, you don't know. I did apologize, but, that's all I can do. I can't make it better. I wasn't a person that I am now back then. I was very disconnected to everything going on around me. I was very dissociated, I think, back then when I was living with him, when I was married to him. I think it was a survival mechanism because I was trying to take care of him and be a good little codependent wife. And I was miserable, and I felt trapped in this situation with a guy that was doing heroin and using my money and spending it on stupid guitars and then pawning them and getting them back and spending it again. And it was bad. So I was very disconnected. I wasn't the same person I am now. I'm so much more mature and a better person, I think, than I was. But yeah, I mean, that's why I have people stalking me and stuff and ruining me and my jobs, and because of clients I had that I didn't handle the right way. Now that's why I don't handle clients anymore. I mean, I'll tell them if they want to talk.
It doesn't seem like you're gonna be taken down anytime soon.
Now, if I was going to, I think I would have been taken down like several years ago. Probably when all this stuff came to a head and all the stalkers made their appearance at my jobs and stuff, not physical, but through emails and stuff.
And you were strong enough to stay.
Yeah.
And not leave and keep doing it.
I'm glad, G. It's good to know. Thank God for that. I mean, when somebody tells you that, I was about to take a bunch of pills and I turned on and watched your show or watched your videos, and I literally stopped from killing myself. That's like so humbling. It's like there's no pride in that. That's like, wow, God, that's all you. Thank you for letting me be that vessel to save somebody's life. I mean, that's huge. There's nothing huger than that. And I've heard that so many times. It's not to brag. It's never to brag. And I know people think, oh, Dee Dee, you just want subs and views. The only reason I want a lot of subs, I would love to have as many subs as Molly Golightly has. Not because I'm showy and, ooh, I got subs, but because that's as many people as I'm reaching that I can help save from narcissists and from abuse. That's why. That's why I'm on here. That's what Delusion Dispeller is about and always has been.
Look at that. Petunia just finally left a very volatile marriage.
I'm so glad, Petunia. Thank you.
And you and Sam had something to do with that.
Thank you, Petunia. I mean, that's awesome. That's what I live to hear. What more do you want to do on this earth than save people's lives and give them a life and tell them that, you know, you're worth more than that, than to be abused. That's why I live. I'm a fixer. I am a fixer. And I fix. God and I, we fix people, but not physically. You know, I don't go into their homes and help them de-hoard their space or something, because I couldn't deal with it. I'm a choleric. I'd be like, here you go. Here's the pile. You're saving this, you're donating that, and you're keeping this. End of story.
Let's divide your floor up into squares.
Right. Exactly. Yep. The square method. It works. I got 3 squares done in the big house. I just got to get in there and do the 4th square. I was supposed to do that today. I didn't get to it. But yeah, the square method. And
the way I would do it when I would have such little energy is every time I would get up, I would grab something.
Yep, I do that too.
As I was going, or I'd grab something from downstairs to go upstairs, or vice versa. And eventually, over the whole 8-hour day, I'd have actually accomplished things.
Hey, whatever works as long as it gets done. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like, I know it took forever, but hey, oh, look at this. Something actually happened.
Well, the square method to me, I think if I am autistic, that would seem like almost an autistic thing to do, because it was like my logical brain was thinking, there's this huge space. I am totally overwhelmed. How can I make it so that it's a smaller space? Oh, that makes sense. Make it into little squares. So that's what I did and do, and it works. So then I only do 1 part a day if I feel like it, and maybe not. Since I don't live in that house anymore, it really doesn't matter. It's getting cleaned gradually.
Well, it almost seems like you're liking a lot smaller space, and I think I feel the same way.
Yeah.
That I don't want to have anything that's too big, because then we just collect more stuff.
Yes, minimalize. And stop using surfaces to pile stuff on. They say get rid of surfaces, because if there's a surface, you're going to pile on it. And I do every time. If there's a surface and I got a book in my hand, bam, it goes like a magnet to the table.
Yes. And I've been really trying to keep my surfaces from getting like that. And I always have to tell the kids, no, don't put that there. That is decoration. That's a decoration table. That's not, putting stuff all over the place, your papers, your soda, your whatever, your keys. Yeah. Before you know it, it doesn't look like decoration anymore.
Right. Large space with minimum stuff. That's a plus too. I like that idea too. It's driving her nuts.
Oh, Meadows, but your house isn't cluttered.
No, I'd be square methoding it if it was too bad. You know me. That's funny.
And I think the more kids that move out of my house, the cleaner it gets.
Oh, sure, of course.
I mean, it's going to be really clean when they're all moved out. And it'd just be me and Archer and Chloe. Yep. Boy, the house will stay clean. It'll be so amazing. It'll actually be like, Saturdays, dusting and doing the heavy duty. And during the week, it'll actually stay maintained like fairly easy.
Yep. True story.
It's crazy when they're kids. Oh, there you go. You guys are both fixers.
Wow.
I think my mom is a fixer too, and I think she's like you guys, choleric. It very much so. And of course, me, why? I remember that growing up. Why? Oh, it just drove her nuts.
See, I was a why person too. That was my melancholy side too. I still want to know why. I won't do something just because somebody tells me to. Prove to me that there's something in it for me that's going to better me, then I'll do it. But if you just want me to do something because you say so, I'm going to question it.
Yeah, and that does cause trouble in churches, I'll tell you.
Well, they don't like you to question why. You're not allowed to do that.
Especially when I said, okay, all right, okay, you're telling me that we still have to wear dresses to church. We can't wear dress slacks. And you're telling me it has to do with how corporate dresses. I go, you're talking about corporate from the 50s. I said, because right now I work in corporate and we wear very nice dress pantsuits. And I'm still showing respect to God and dressing very nice. And then they, you know what they told me? Stop nitpicking.
Yeah.
Just wear your
Nitpicking.
skirt. Wear your
Wow.
skirt and just be done with it. Because it's in the winter time and you got to go on field service, Dee Dee.
Right.
And you're wearing dresses.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, come on now. It's below zero and you're out there going door to door.
Well,
And,
at least the 12 tribe cult lets them wear those bloomer pants under their dresses.
the bloomer pants?
Yeah.
I never seen those.
Yeah, they're big, huge, balloon-like pants, and they wear them under their dresses.
Oh.
The women all have their hair in buns or ponytails or something. I don't remember.
Oh,
no buns.
and get this. You know the skirts that would look like they were dresses, but they were really pants?
Culottes.
You got culottes, but then you also had ones that even looked more like longer skirts.
Oh.
Right? Not allowed. Even
Like
though they
Sonny and Cher.
Even though they look like they were dresses.
Yeah.
Not allowed. Because
Like
we had men.
Like
Sonny
and Cher. I know. Why dress girls like that with men running around? That's just asking for trouble. Which in the Jehovah's Witnesses, there was stuff going on like that anyways.
Yeah.
As well as other cults.
My mother finally got real good, and she would get her skirt super long, and then she'd put her heavy-duty long johns and pants on underneath the skirt.
That's what I did too. Still do that.
Me, I'm just like, come on now. This is ridiculous. This is not even biblical.
Oh, thanks, Lee. See, I've helped people that I don't even know I've helped. There's so many of them that, like, every day I get emails just about from people. You don't know me, but back in blah, 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 you did this video on. I'm like, I don't even remember the video. I don't remember what it was about, but I'm glad I helped you. But I wanted to get back into doing my narcissism videos because that's what this channel was founded on. That's when I had the least amount of headaches and trouble from other people on here and other issues on here, was when I was being me, this is me. This is me talking about this.
When I did my Jehovah's Witness videos, I think that's when I got the most, as far as people telling me where it helped them when they had to leave.
Yeah.
Because we could relate to one another's stories, and they would realize they weren't crazy and they weren't nuts, and that all of us had similar stories, so we were not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This was really happening.
Exactly. And that's what you got to do, is find like-minded people that have been through it, and then you'll understand. That's what the ones in the 12 tribes did too. The ones that got out found other people that got out, and now they've started groups to try to help people get out of there. It's really hard though. They're so brain soiled, I call it, not brainwashed, brain soiled.
The abuse is bad, Dee Dee. And so you're not only, if you were born into it and you leave, your whole social network, your family, everything's gone. It is the hardest thing to survive. There's so much suicide from it.
Yeah. Well, the 12 tribes beat little 6-month-old babies with balloon sticks.
Yeah.
Because they wiggle when they change their diaper. And they start them early on abusing those kids.
And you wonder how they survive it.
Well, a lot of them just leave. They get out. They escape somehow. But it's scary. It's scary what people get away with in cults, I swear.
And that's so wrong. See, that's what I'm saying. It's one thing to have freedom of your religion, but it shouldn't give your religion the right to abuse and hurt people.
Exactly. Wow, Petunia. What kind of cult, if I could ask? Can you name what the cult is or anything? Just curious.
Hi, Matt.
You need to talk, huh? Okay. Oh, you got movies or something? You're pissed off? Aww. You bought me a wallet, a really pretty wallet.
Oh, and it's blue.
It is. It's blue and teal.
Look at that.
It's pretty. It's not showing the two shades, though, is it? It's making it all look like one shade.
No, I can tell there's more. It's not like just
Oh,
flat blue.
Duh. If I turn it around the right way,
there
that
we
might help. Maybe I need to appeal to my melancholy side.
Yeah, but I still like it because even the blue is not just a boring blue.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. It's my color. It's that winter color that I am.
Yeah, now turn it around again.
Yeah, with the stripe part on it.
Look at that.
It's
Oh,
cute.
Dee Dee, he knows you.
He does. He gives me nice gifts and he showers me with gifts all the time. Thank you, honey. Happy birthday to me.
So, Dee Dee, what I have to do with the Jell-O, when I do the Jell-O thing tomorrow, is I got to poke holes in my cake after I make it.
She's making one tomorrow?
Yeah, and she's going to celebrate my birthday with me. We're going to have it online tomorrow night.
You can't.
Why?
You can't have it
Oh,
online
Oneness Pentecostal.
until after 8.
Well, that's fine. I'll do it after 8 then.
Because I want to be a part of it.
Well, yeah, I know. Matthew wants to be a part of our birthday celebration tomorrow, so he said after 8 we can do it.
It'll be cool.
Yeah, are we going on live in your room? I mean, you gotta let everybody come here and celebrate your birthday.
Yeah, so we'll go live in my room. Yeah, of course. Oneness Pentecostal.
Mm-hmm.
Petunia, do you want to come up on panel and talk or no? You can come up and tell your story if you want. You don't even have to show your face if you don't want to.
I would be interested in hearing her story. Yeah.
Definitely. Let us know, Petunia, if you want to come up and share. I'm going to try to get off of here by about 9:50-ish because I'm going to try to take a few more tutoring calls before the day is over because I got lazy today and didn't take any. So
That sounds good. Because can you believe I actually get tired from going live?
yes, I can believe that. I actually am not getting tired since I started doing the 1 meal a day thing. It's really weird because I thought I would just really be struggling, but it gives you so much energy, this intermittent fasting stuff.
I know. I love it. Love it. Love it. I'm so happy that I started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That 8-hour window is what I have. Oh, can't right now. Hubby is.
You said you're quitting, really?
I have a 4-hour eating window.
When are you quitting your life?
I got an 8-hour one.
What, honey?
When are you quitting your life?
Soon, before 10. Why?
Because when you quit yours, I'll start.
Okay. When I quit my life, he's going to start his life.
And I think my grandma used to be Pentecostal too, and it turned her away from all religion. But she never lost her relationship with God. She just lost her relationship with organized religion.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think God or Jesus ever wanted us to have religion. He wanted a relationship with us.
Yeah, that's why Jesus didn't go around setting up branches of this and that and
Yeah.
buildings. He didn't become a Pharisee.
He didn't build church buildings.
Nope.
They met in homes. It says that right in the Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember there being anything other than homes, or once in a while he would go into like the temples and preach, but that was around the religious leaders that he did that.
Yeah, they really didn't like that very much.
No, they didn't. But they said he spoke as one that was not like them, like a man of wisdom or something like that. Not as the scribes and Pharisees does he teach.
Yeah, those Pharisees used to make me so mad in the Bible. And then every time we would read about them, I would think, well, that's the elders.
Right.
I would flat out say those are they act like the elders do.
Well, if you look at the traits of a Pharisee, which if you ever watch my Bible-based videos, I talk about narcissism in relation to the book of Proverbs.
Petunia, that's the same with me. That's what's helped me survive everything. Jesus.
You might actually like those videos if you've ever seen them. My Proverbs videos.
Are those like, so if I would go on your page and press like oldest?
They would be in my playlist.
Oh, playlist. Okay,
yeah.
so they're playlists.
It would be
You're
reading.
all organized like that.
Yeah, they're all organized in playlists. Exactly. See, there's the melancholy in me. I had to organize little compartments. You know me, I like labels. I'm all
Okay,
about
and
the
you
labels.
also like documenting and like your food stuff, so that's the melancholy in you. Okay.
Yeah, so I do have melancholy in me. It's just the melancholy kicks in when I want to be organized and have patterns and stuff. The choleric kicks in when I'm fed up with people's goofiness and I just want to move forward. All right, enough, lady. I've had enough of you. I'm moving on. You know.
Yeah, but I really wish I could have been there when that pastor was saying that to you, just to see her looking at him.
Oh, I was staring him straight in the eye.
Yes, you were scared?
Yes, sir. No, not scared. God talks to me all the time. So he was talking me through that. He's like, look him right in the eye. Just say yes, sir. I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Then inside, I was just like seething mad. I was just like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, did your mom raise you in a religion?
Catholic.
She raised you in the, was she like an actual practicing Catholic?
When I was growing up, she went to church religiously. No pun intended. Yeah. She would dress us up and walk my brother and I to church. Every Sunday, we'd sit through the Mass. Thankfully, it was more of a contemporary Mass, not a boring Latin Mass or something that I couldn't understand anything.
Or you mean like you weren't bobbing up and down constantly?
Oh, no, we did that. We knelt, we sat, we stood. Oh, no, we did all that. But it wasn't like hymns, all hymns. It was folk songs. And my stepdad was a folk singer. So I grew up very much in like Peter, Paul, and Mary days. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Simon and Garfunkel, that kind of thing. I made my confession, my communion. I also sang in the folk group for years, played guitar, sang with my cousins, the whole family. Pretty much were singers.
Did you have to do a CCD class?
CCD class. Oh, sure did.
Yep. That was like Monday nights for my friends that were Catholics. They had to go
I went on.
night.
Yeah, I think I did too. For when I was older, I think I went at night. When you're younger, you go during like school and stuff. Go to Catholic school. I would like to know why you're angry.
Does this look different to you?
Yeah.
My new phone. Would you like to know why I need a new phone?
Did you throw your phone or step on it?
Well, sort of. Okay, so I was listening to music on the way home, but I had it in my hand, so it fell and broke.
Okay. He broke his phone, so he bought himself a new one. And he's angry because he dropped his phone. But that's okay.
No, he didn't have a screen protector, huh?
No, that wouldn't matter.
No, and it wouldn't have mattered because he's riding his bike.
Oh, yeah.
Holding it in his hand.
My ex-husband ran over his cell phone with the dump truck, so, you know.
I didn't quite
that was history.
It happens. It happens.
It does happen.
What are you going to do?
They're going to try to find me somebody to switch me for next week. I can't do nothing about tomorrow. I didn't ask them to do anything about tomorrow. So I work is fine. But there's all you need for your Jello cake.
Cool. Jello cake.
We're going to make tonight so it can settle overnight.
Okay. We're going to make the Jello cake tonight.
I got to get this straight again.
Mm-hmm.
When you're making the cake batter, but you have to cook that, right? To put the holes in it, to pour it.
Yeah, you make the cake just like you make any cake. Just make your cake. That's it. Cook your cake. Bake it. And then let it cool.
Okay.
Then make Jello, but only put the hot water in it. Don't put the cold in it.
Okay.
Okay. And then, hang on. Let me make sure I'm telling you right. Hold on just a second. Because maybe you do put the cold in it.
Oh, I talked to him about getting more hours, too.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's pretty much what we talked about. I only got the hours I got, as low as I got, because I took those days off. But as long as I keep doing as good as I'm doing and showing that I'm there to stay and work, I'll get my hours.
Good, honey. Okay, here's the recipe for you.
Okay.
I mean, there's many recipes, but I just grabbed that one.
Wait, how am I supposed to get to that? Oh, is it?
Can't you click on it?
In the chat? The chat
Yeah.
we had?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Okay, wait.
It has to be in the chat for me to put it up there.
No, I'm talking about in the chat I look at.
Oh, I don't know.
Let me
Hang
see.
on.
Jello poke cake.
Yeah, it's called Jello poke cake.
Okay, that's because if I just pour that in there once it's cooked, then you're putting it in the fridge, right?
Yeah, you put it in the fridge so it gets firm, and then you put your whipped cream on it,
Okay.
and then you eat it, and you try not to eat the whole entire freaking cake because I'm going to want to eat most of the cake. It is so, oh my gosh. If you've never had a Jello cake, you are in for such a treat. You won't want any other kind of cake after you eat this. Seriously. You won't ever crave another strawberry shortcake, chocolate cake, nothing. And you can make it whatever flavor you want.
I have 2 teenagers, so they can eat most of it for me.
There you go.
They'll keep me from eating the whole cake.
Right.
But you and Matthew are going to have self-control.
Nah.
Nah.
Not really, because I only eat 1 meal a day, so I can pretty much pile on the calories if it's a high carb day.
Is it a high
I literally
carb one
only
tomorrow?
Today was kind of a moderate carb day for me, and since it's my birthday tomorrow, I'll probably go a little higher carb. I fluctuated. I go high carb, low carb, moderate carb, whatever. Seems to be working.
You know, I might actually at some point kind of put that twist into my intermittent fasting here, but I'm just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, that's what I did. I started out with the keto, then I went from that to Atkins, then I went to every other day fasting, and I had already been doing intermittent fasting all along. And then I found out about OMAD, and I'm like, okay, I think I'll give it a try. This guy lost like 75 pounds in 9 months. And I'm like, yeah, I'd like to do that. I don't have that much to lose, but I'd like to lose my weight and get down to my normal weight again. It would be nice. 110, 120. Yeah.
Well, I do know that I'm about, from 211. And then when I went to the hospital, I was 192. I think I might even be less by now. So obviously, I think it's because I eat a lot of tuna.
I know you love your tuna. That's good. Yeah, it's very high protein and it's high fat, which is good because that's how you're losing the weight.
Yeah, I have the oil in with it, the olive oil.
Yep, exactly. I'm going to send you a link. I'll try to send it in your email or something for the OMAD thing so you can see some of the recipes. They're pretty cool, like some of the meals he eats.
Yeah.
Okay, so you prepare the cake mix as directed in a 9 by 13 pan. Let it cool for 15 minutes. Poke the cake with a fork at 1/2 inch intervals. Prepare Jello as directed. Okay, just prepare the Jello regular then, just like you normally would Jello. Then it says spoon over the cake mix until Jello all liquid is gone. Chill 3 to 4 hours and top with whipped cream. That's it. That's all you're doing. Easy. Poking holes in a cake. Yeah, poking holes in the cake and pouring the Jello into it. And then putting whipped cream on it.
What are you going to use to poke your holes?
Fork. You use a fork.
Okay. All right.
2-inch intervals.
So 2-inch intervals. Use a fork. All right.
You can use straw. You can use a toothpick. Just depends how big you want your holes in it. Okay. I'll probably use a fork because I like it throughout the whole thing. So.
Does it matter what the flavor of it is? Does it have to be strawberry?
No, anything you want.
Okay, because I don't know that I have strawberry. I think I might have orange.
What, honey? You got lemon? Ooh, that'll be good. I've never had a lemon Jello cake.
Oh, that does sound good.
I love lemon anything. Lemon meringue, lemon pudding.
Is that supposed to be Matt? This is me?
That's Matthew, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Supposed to be you. We're not sure if it is. Just supposed to be. It's a facsimile of your imagination, one love. It's not really him. Just supposed to be. What, honey?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's saying.
What is?
My camera turned or something.
Oh, he's discovering new apparatuses on his phone now. He's fascinated.
Talks.
It talks to you? Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know if that's
That's
good, but
cool.
Flashing images. Look. Oh, you can see.
G. Marie says, Hola, Mateo.
Yeah, tell her I'm gonna call her here in a second.
He's going to call you in a second, G.
She better answer.
And you better answer, he said. Or else.
Wow, that's demanding.
That's Matthew.
She told me
Tactless.
to call her after work.
Yeah, she told him to call her. Matthew's got all the ladies calling him now. He's a popular
really?
guy. He's got, what, Ducky and G and who else calls you? Sometimes Lee calls me. I don't know if she's ever talked to him or not.
I've only talked about it.
Ida, yeah.
So Matt likes to talk on the phone?
He likes to talk to the ladies.
Ooh.
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm secure.
You are secure. That's obvious.
Yep.
She's secular.
I don't care. Secure, not secular. I'm secular too, I guess, in a way. You're on the live. Huh? You're on the live? What are you talking about? You're on the live. Gee, what do you mean? I'm confused.
Whoa.
You look tired. One love.
I am tired.
Well, we've been
I
on
don't
here
know
for
how
3
I-
hours, so I think this is
Yeah.
the reason.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. I just am not myself. I'm not gonna be for a while. I don't.
Oh
think.
yeah, you're recovering. I know. Hey, Meadows, welcome back. Yeah, I'm gonna get off of here pretty soon. Anyway, I gotta go do some tutoring, and I need to pee.
And I really can't wait to be my energetic self again. You know.
I know.
And I purposely do not wear my glasses when I'm around the house because I don't want to see any dust. I don't want to see any fur on the rug.
Oh yeah, that would drive me crazy too. So I understand.
Because I can't like do what I normally do, which is everyday stuff. Like every day you gotta vacuum, every day you gotta sweep, every day you gotta wipe things down.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I know.
But at least I can be in my room where I can keep it clean.
True.
You just go off to your own little square.
Yep. The square method of
No,
living.
it's not as bad. I gotta admit, I gotta not be so hard on my kids because they're doing a really good job. It's not like I have dishes in the sink. You know what I mean? They could really be trash in this house, and they're not. So
That's
I
good.
should be very thankful.
I definitely have dishes in my sink I need to get to. Definitely.
I think they just don't want to hear their mom freaking out.
Probably.
It's going, "Rah!"
That might be it. All right. Well, I probably should let you go get some rest.
Thank you.
I'm going to get off of here too.
Yeah, I'm tired. This has been
Yeah.
hard work.
I'm going to go spend some time with my hubby till I got to go on a tutoring call and go to the bathroom and probably fry up some cheese because I'm getting a little bit of hungry. And that's what I do. When I get hungry, I fry up some cheese in a circle and munch on it.
Yeah, and I'm going to get like a tall glass of ice water.
I'm going to get some water too. I need to drink. I'm very dehydrated, I'm sure, at this point. What, honey? Not that kind of drink, honey. Water.
And Dee Dee, at some point we got to do you on my Stories of Survivors thing for a testimony. It's just I'm just not up to it yet. So
Of course. As long as we don't hate each other by that time, I'll be happy to come on your show.
okay, that sounds like a plan.
Because
As long as we're
YouTube
not
creates
shooting
that.
daggers.
Do what?
As long as we're not bombing each other's channels.
There you go. Oh, yes. As soon as I'm done here, I'm making a video against you, just so you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Not really. Not
All
really.
right.
All right.
Thank you for having me, Dee Dee. I'm getting off.
Okay.
All right.
Feel better. Take care of yourself.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. This has been a blast. 3 hours. Good God. Anyways, we've had a good talk. We've learned a lot about each other. and about what we believe and what we don't want in our lives and who we don't want in our lives, and not just lives on here, but life in general. All right, so I think it's time to say a fond farewell and put this video up into public, and hopefully I don't get in big trouble for doing anything on it that I shouldn't have. And yeah, everybody have a good night. Love y'all. God bless ya. See you soon. Bye for now.